Tonight, you do not beg for supply. Let these words be the first quiet lamp placed in the room of your mind. Tonight, you do not beg, you do not plead, you do not run after money through the dark corridors of thought. You do not lie here as a servant of numbers, trembling before bills, debts, dates, needs, promises and sums that appear too large for the little human mind to arrange. You are not here to bow before fear. You are here to remember the law of your word under grace. And if this word touches something true within you, write in the comments, $90,000 comes under grace. Do not write it as a common phrase. Write it as a quiet spiritual declaration, a sign that you no longer place this sum under panic, pressure, or fear, but under divine order, perfect channels, and perfect ways. Now let the body rest again. Let the room become softer around you. Let the outer world withdraw. Let the affairs of the day step back from the bedside. This is not the hour to wrestle with every figure. This is not the hour to prove your worth by worrying. This is not the hour to repeat what has not yet appeared. This is the hour of the silence, the hour in which the spoken word may go before you and prepare the way. Tonight, you do not beg for supply. You speak the word under grace. Say it softly within yourself. You speak the word under grace. Again, you speak the word under grace. There is a great difference between a cry of fear and a word spoken under grace. A cry of fear says, I am helpless. I am forgotten. I must persuade God. I must force the channel. I must make something happen before I can rest. But the word under grace says, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Infinite Spirit knows the way. Divine order selects the channel. My good comes cleanly, rightly, peacefully, and in perfect time. So tonight, the sum is not placed under fear. The sum is placed under grace. The number is not placed upon your chest like a weight. The number is placed upon Infinite Spirit. The need is not a tyrant. The need is a call for divine supply. The bill is not an enemy. The bill is an obligation under divine order. The debt is not a sentence. The debt is a matter for divine adjustment. The delay is not denial. The delay is placed under divine timing. The future is not a dark road. The future is under the guidance of infinite intelligence. And $90,000 is not too large for God. Say it gently. $90,000 is not too large for God. Again, $90,000 is not too large for God. Do not let the mind become startled by the number. The human mind sees a large sum and begins to measure it by old paths. It measures it by the purse. It measures it by yesterday's income. It measures it by what has happened before. It measures it by one position, one payment, one person, one opportunity, one door. And if the mind cannot see the path, it says, impossible. But impossibility is not the language of Infinite Spirit. The word tonight is not impossible. The word tonight is under grace. The word tonight is perfect channels. The word tonight is perfect ways. Say, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let the sentence move slowly. Let it not be a shout. Let it not be a demand made from panic. Let it be a decree made from faith. Florence does not teach you to beg at a locked gate. I teach you to speak the word and let Infinite Spirit open the right gate, at the right hour, through the right channel, in the right way. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. If your mind says how, answer gently. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. If your mind says through whom, answer gently. The right people are moved by divine order. If your mind says when, answer gently. Divine timing is exact. If your mind says that is too much, answer gently. No sum is too large for Infinite Spirit. If your mind says I am not worthy, answer gently. What is mine by divine right comes under grace. If your mind says there is no way, answer gently. Infinite Spirit opens the perfect way. Tonight, you are learning to stop asking from fear and to begin speaking from spiritual authority. This authority is not pride. It is not arrogance. It is not a loud voice trying to command the visible world. It is the quiet authority of one who knows that God is the source and money is only a form of supply. It is the authority of one who knows that channels are many, but the source is one. It is the authority of one who knows that your word is your wand, and that the spoken word, when placed under grace, may open doors that the anxious mind has never seen. Say, my word is under grace. Again, my word is under grace. Say, My word opens the way for divine supply. Again, my word opens the way for divine supply. Now bring the number softly before the mind, not to fear it, not to worship it, not to chase it, but to place it in divine order. $90,000. Let the number stand in the light of God. $90,000. Let it be stripped of fear. $90,000. Let it no longer be a wall. Let it become a form of supply. Let it become a servant of divine order. Let it become an appointed good, if it is yours by divine right. Let it come cleanly. Let it come peacefully. Let it come under grace. Let it come through perfect channels. Let it come in perfect ways. Say, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels, and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels, and in perfect ways. There may be a part of you that still feels tired. It has carried figures all day. It has looked at what is due. It has remembered what is lacking. It has wondered what will happen if the money does not appear. It has perhaps imagined failure, embarrassment, loss, disappointment, or another month of struggle. Bless that tired part of you. Do not scold it. It has only been trying to protect you in the language it knew. But now we teach it a new language. The new language is not, I do not have enough. The new language is, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. The new language is not, how can I ever receive such a sum? The new language is, Infinite Spirit has ways I cannot see. The new language is not, I must make this happen tonight. The new language is, I speak the word under grace, and let divine order work. The new language is not, I am afraid of tomorrow. The new language is, tomorrow is under divine guidance. The new language is not, this number is too great. The new language is, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let this become the new language of the night. You do not beg. You speak. You do not chase. You receive. You do not force. You bless. You do not carry the sum as a burden. You place it under divine order. Say, I place $90,000 under divine order. Again, I place $90,000 under divine order. Say, I place every channel under divine order. Again, I place every channel under divine order. Say, I place my need under divine supply. Again, I place my need under divine supply. Now rest deeper. The body does not have to know the channel. The hands do not have to grasp the way. The eyes do not have to search the whole world for the answer tonight. Let the body become heavy. Let the mind become quiet. Let the heart stop leaning forward in fear. Nothing good is gained by tightening the soul around a number. A number is a servant. God is the source. A sum is a form. Infinite Spirit is the source. A payment is a channel. God is the source. A person is a channel. God is the source. A business is a channel. God is the source. An opportunity is a channel. God is the source. Therefore, no single channel can frighten you tonight. No single delay can defeat you tonight. No single closed door can exhaust God tonight. No single account can silence divine supply. Say, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Again, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Again, softer, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Let this sentence be larger than the number. Let it be larger than the bill. Let it be larger than the debt. Let it be larger than the memory of lack. Let it be larger than any human opinion. Let it be larger than your own fear. If God is your unfailing and inexhaustible supply, then the path is not limited to what the mind can see before sleep. The mind may know only one road. Infinite Spirit knows all roads. The mind may know only one person. Divine order can move the right people. The mind may know only one plan. Infinite intelligence has the divine plan. The mind may know only one purse. God has infinite supply. Tonight, you do not beg for supply. You speak the word under grace, and now say the word again. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, very slowly, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Do not make this affirmation a strain. A seed is not planted by striking the earth in fear. It is placed gently. It is covered. It is trusted. Your word tonight is a seed placed in the silence. You do not dig it up with doubt. You do not pull it from the ground by asking every moment, where is it? How will it come? Why is it not here? You speak the word, and then you let divine law work. Say, I do not dig up my word with doubt. Again, I do not dig up my word with doubt. Say, my word is planted under grace. Again, my word is planted under grace. Say, divine supply brings the harvest in perfect ways. Again, divine supply brings the harvest in perfect ways. Now let the silence around you become a friend. Many are afraid of silence, because in silence the mind tries to speak its fears. It brings old accounts, old disappointments, old shortages, old voices that said, do not expect too much. But silence is not the home of fear when the right word has been spoken. Silence is the workshop of infinite spirit. Silence is the place where the spoken word goes on working after the lips are still. Tonight, the silence receives the right word, not a begging word, not a frightened word, not a desperate word. A word under grace. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let this word enter the silence. Let it go before you. Let it touch the right channel. Let it summon the right idea. Let it draw the right person. Let it adjust the right account. Let it open the right door. Let it bless the right road. Let it move in divine order. You do not need to follow it with fear. Your word knows where to go when placed in infinite spirit. Say, my word goes before me and prepares the way. Again, my word goes before me and prepares the way. Say, my word is carried by divine order. Again, my word is carried by divine order. Now let us soften every fear connected with the number. If the number has seemed too great, place it under grace. If the number has seemed impossible, place it under grace. If the number has stirred guilt, place it under grace. If the number has awakened memories of failure, place those memories under grace. If the number has made you think of debts, obligations, family, home, work, age, time, delays, or missed opportunities, place all of it under grace. Say, all of this is under grace. Again, all of this is under grace. Say, all of this is in divine order. Again, all of this is in divine order. Say, all of this is being arranged by infinite intelligence. Again, all of this is being arranged by infinite intelligence. There is nothing in your money affairs that is too tangled for divine order. There is nothing too delayed for divine timing. There is nothing too large for divine supply. There is nothing too hidden for infinite intelligence. There is nothing too broken for divine adjustment. There is nothing too far away for your appointed good, if it belongs to you by divine right. What is yours by divine right comes under grace. Say it softly. What is mine by divine right comes under grace. Again, what is mine by divine right comes under grace. Now return to the sum. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. The words under grace protect the whole matter. Under grace means the sum comes without harm. Under grace means it comes without panic. Under grace means it does not take from another. Under grace means it does not disturb another's good. Under grace means it comes cleanly, rightly, peacefully, and in divine order. Under grace means that if this sum is yours by divine right, no power can keep it from appearing through the perfect channel. Say, my money comes cleanly under grace. Again, my money comes cleanly under grace. Say, my money comes peacefully under grace. Again, my money comes peacefully under grace. Say, my money blesses all concerned. Again, my money blesses all concerned. There is no guilt in receiving what is yours by divine right. There is no shame in allowing divine supply to meet your needs. There is no virtue in fearing money. There is no holiness in sleepless worry. There is no spirituality in calling lack your destiny. True faith blesses supply and gives it right use. True faith receives with gratitude and gives with wisdom. True faith lets money be a servant of divine order. So tonight, if $90,000 represents relief, let it be relief under grace. If it represents debts paid, let it be debts adjusted under grace. If it represents a home blessed, let it be a home supplied under grace. If it represents work strengthened, let it be work prospered under grace. If it represents family cared for, let it be family provided for under grace. If it represents freedom, let it be freedom under divine order. Say, this money serves divine order. Again, this money serves divine order. Say, this money blesses my life in perfect ways. Again, this money blesses my life in perfect ways. Now, do not beg for it. Bless it. Do not chase it. Call it under grace. Do not fear it. Place it under divine order. Do not worship it. Remember God as source. Do not hold the number against your heart with pressure. Let infinite spirit hold the number for you. Say, I cast the burden of this sum upon infinite spirit. Again, I cast the burden of this sum upon infinite spirit. Say, I go free. Again, I go free. Again softer, I go free. This is the beginning of the night practice. First, you refuse to beg. Then, you speak the word. Then, you place the word under grace. Then, you release the channel. Then, you rest. That is enough for tonight. Rest is not abandonment. Rest is obedience when the word has been spoken. Sleep is not surrender to fear. Sleep is entry into the silence where divine order works without your nervous interference. Say, I do not carry this sum in fear tonight. Again, I do not carry this sum in fear tonight. Say, the number is under divine order. Again, the number is under divine order. Say, the channel is under infinite intelligence. Again, the channel is under infinite intelligence. Say, the timing is under divine law. Again, the timing is under divine law. Now the number becomes quiet. It no longer shouts. It no longer frightens. It no longer stands before you as an impossible wall. It rests in the hands of infinite spirit, and you rest in the knowledge that God is your unfailing and inexhaustible supply. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let your breathing become slower. $90,000 comes under grace. Let your shoulders soften. $90,000 comes under grace. Let the hands release. $90,000 comes under grace. Let the heart be still. $90,000 comes under grace. Let the mind stop calculating. $90,000 comes under grace. Let the night receive the word. $90,000 comes under grace. Now hear this as I would speak it to you quietly at the edge of sleep. You are not a beggar at the gate of life. You are not outside the kingdom of supply. You are not waiting for a reluctant God to be persuaded. God is more willing to give than the heart is often willing to receive. Infinite spirit is not withholding. Divine supply is not exhausted. The channels of good are not limited to what you have already known. Tonight, you do not beg for supply. You speak the word under grace. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Again, very softly, tonight, I do not beg for supply. I speak the word under grace. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. And now, let this first word carry you deeper. The sum is under grace. The need is under grace. The channel is under grace. The timing is under grace. The way is under grace. The night is under grace. You do not need to solve it now. You do not need to chase it now. You do not need to plead for it now. You have spoken the word, and the word has gone forth under grace. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now let us understand the difference between asking in fear and commanding under grace. There is a way of asking that is only another name for trembling. The lips may say, please, but the heart says, I am afraid. The lips may say, send me supply, but the mind says, there is no way. The lips may pray, but underneath the prayer there may be panic, resentment, doubt, bargaining, or a feeling of being outside the kingdom of good. This is not the word of power. This is the word of fear dressed in religious garments. Tonight, I do not command from fear. Say it softly. I do not command from fear. Again, I do not command from fear. Let the whole body understand this. You are not lying here in the night to strain after a sum. You are not trying to force money from an unwilling universe. You are not trying to pull $90,000 through a locked gate by the strength of anxiety. You are not commanding from impatience, pride, anger, or desperation. That kind of command is only fear speaking loudly. The true command is quiet. The true command is under grace. The true command comes from the remembrance that God is the source, that divine supply is inexhaustible, and that your word, when spoken in faith, is your wand. I speak from spiritual authority. Say it gently. I speak from spiritual authority. Again, I speak from spiritual authority. Spiritual authority is not noise. It is not harshness. It is not pushing against people. It is not ordering one person to pay, one employer to raise, one customer to buy, one door to open, or one channel to obey your will. Spiritual authority does not bind another soul. Spiritual authority does not disturb another's good. Spiritual authority does not say, it must come through this road and no other. No. Spiritual authority says, what is mine by divine right comes to me under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. There is peace in such a command. There is dignity in such a command. There is freedom in such a command. When you command under grace, you are not commanding persons. You are not commanding circumstances with violence. You are commanding your own consciousness to agree with divine law. You are commanding fear to step down from the throne. You are commanding lack to be silent. You are commanding your word to stop wandering through the world as a beggar and to stand upright as a messenger of God. Say, my word is under grace. Again, my word is under grace. Again, more softly, my word is under grace. This is the great protection. If your word is under grace, it cannot injure. If your word is under grace, it cannot rob another. If your word is under grace, it cannot demand what is not yours by divine right. If your word is under grace, it cannot bring money through sorrow, confusion, conflict, or loss of peace. Under grace, the word is purified. Under grace, the channel is selected by infinite spirit. Under grace, the timing is governed by divine order. Under grace, the amount serves the divine plan. So when you speak the word for $90,000, do not speak as one who clutches. Speak as one who blesses. Say, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. And now, let us feel the difference. Fear says, I need this now, or I am lost. Grace says, my appointed good cannot be lost. Fear says, this person must give it to me. Grace says, the right channel opens in divine order. Fear says, I must know how before I can rest. Grace says, infinite intelligence knows the way. Fear says, if this does not come, I shall fail. Grace says, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Fear says, I am begging life to save me. Grace says, I speak the word, and divine supply obeys divine law. Say, divine supply obeys divine law. Again, divine supply obeys divine law. This sentence is not meant to make you forceful. It is meant to make you calm. Divine supply obeys divine law. It does not obey panic. It does not obey frantic speech. It does not obey resentment. It does not obey the trembling demand that another person be made to act against their good. Divine supply obeys divine law, and divine law is orderly, clean, exact, peaceful, and full of blessing. When you align your word with divine law, the word becomes powerful. When you align your desire with divine order, the desire becomes safe. When you align the sum with grace, the sum becomes a servant of good. When you align the channel with infinite spirit, the channel is freed from your fear. This is why I say, I do not command from fear. I speak from spiritual authority. My word is under grace. Divine supply obeys divine law. Again, quietly, I do not command from fear. I speak from spiritual authority. My word is under grace. Divine supply obeys divine law. Now let the mind release the old way of asking. The old way may have been full of worry. It may have said, please help me, but I do not believe help is near. It may have said, please send money, but I am certain nothing changes. It may have said, please open a door, but I keep watching the one door that seems closed. It may have said, please provide, but I shall continue to speak lack over my life. That old way is finished tonight. Say, I release the old way of asking in fear. Again, I release the old way of asking in fear. Say, I receive the new way of speaking under grace. Again, I receive the new way of speaking under grace. You do not need to quarrel with the past. You do not need to feel ashamed of prayers that were mixed with fear. Many prayers begin in fear before they learn to rise into faith. A frightened child cries before it learns to speak clearly. Be gentle with yourself. But tonight, the word matures. Tonight, the word stands in divine order. Tonight, the word is not a cry from lack, but a decree of supply under grace. Say, my word is mature in faith. Again, my word is mature in faith. Now speak the decree again. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let it be clear. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let it be peaceful. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. This is not a command to the outer world alone. It is first a command to your own inner world. It says to fear, you may not rule here. It says to lack, you may not speak the last word. It says to doubt, you may not close the door. It says to shame, you may not keep me from receiving my appointed good. It says to the anxious mind, you need not know the how tonight. It says to the soul, remember God. The command under grace is always a return to God as source. Say, God is the source of my supply. Again, God is the source of my supply. Say, money is only one form of supply. Again, money is only one form of supply. Say, the channel is not the source. Again, the channel is not the source. When you know this, command becomes safe. You no longer command one person to be your provider. You no longer command one circumstance to be your savior. You no longer command life from the narrow place of fear. You command your good to appear according to divine law, and you leave all persons free, all channels free, all timing free, all methods free in infinite spirit. This is important. A command under grace never imprisons another. It never says, this one person must do my will. It says, the right person, the right channel, the right opportunity, the right adjustment, the right opening, the right answer, and the right supply now appear under grace and in perfect ways. In this way, your good is not forced, it is released. Say, I release every person to divine order. Again, I release every person to divine order. Say, I release every channel to divine order. Again, I release every channel to divine order. Say, the perfect channel for $90,000 is now open under grace. Again, the perfect channel for $90,000 is now open under grace. Feel the difference. One sentence strains, the other rests. One sentence clutches, the other blesses. One sentence makes the world small, the other lets infinite spirit be infinite. A frightened command says, it must be this way. A command under grace says, it comes in the perfect way. A frightened command says, it must be through this person. A command under grace says, it comes through the perfect channel. A frightened command says, it must happen by my frightened hour. A command under grace says, it comes in divine timing. A frightened command says, I must control it. A command under grace says, infinite intelligence knows the way. So tonight you are not learning tension, you are learning authority without tension. Say, I speak with authority and peace. Again, I speak with authority and peace. Say, my word is calm and powerful. Again, my word is calm and powerful. A calm word travels farther than a frantic one. A word under grace carries no heaviness. It is not tangled in doubt. It is not burdened with resentment. It is not stained with fear. It goes forth like a messenger wearing a white garment. It knows its errand. It is carried by divine law. It does not need you to chase after it all night. Your word goes forth. Your body rests. Your mind becomes quiet. Infinite spirit opens the way. Say, my word goes forth under grace. Again, my word goes forth under grace. Say, I rest while divine supply moves. Again, I rest while divine supply moves. Now let us remove the harshness from the word command. In human affairs, command may sound severe. It may sound like one will against another. But in the spiritual life, command means recognition. It means you recognize the law. It means you no longer speak as though lack were supreme. It means you no longer allow appearances to dictate your confession. It means you say, the truth of God is greater than what I see tonight. The command of faith is not against anyone. It is for divine order. It is for right supply. It is for clean channels. It is for peaceful increase. It is for the fulfillment of divine right. It is for the good that blesses all concerned. Say, my command blesses all concerned. Again, my command blesses all concerned. Say, my good disturbs no one's good. Again, my good disturbs no one's good. Say, $90,000 comes cleanly, peacefully, and under grace. Again, $90,000 comes cleanly, peacefully, and under grace. Now, if some part of the mind fears the word command, bless that part. Perhaps you were taught to be small. Perhaps you were taught that asking for much was selfish. Perhaps you were taught that money must always be difficult. Perhaps you were taught that wanting a large sum was dangerous, vain, or impossible. Perhaps you were taught to whisper where faith asks you to speak. Tonight you may speak without arrogance. You may receive without guilt. You may command without cruelty. You may declare without pressure. You may expect without anxiety. You may rest without abandoning your good. Say, I receive my appointed good without guilt. Again, I receive my appointed good without guilt. Say, I speak my appointed good without fear. Now speak the word again, and let it be gentle. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again softer. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. This is the exact difference between begging and commanding under grace. Begging looks at the empty place and says, I am at its mercy. Commanding under grace looks at the empty place and says, divine supply fills every right need. Begging looks at a closed door and says, my good is gone. Commanding under grace says, the appointed door opens now. Begging looks at a large number and says, this is too much. Commanding under grace says, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. Begging looks at delay and says, I have been denied. Commanding under grace says, no delay can rob me of my appointed good. Say, no delay can rob me of my appointed good. Again, no delay can rob me of my appointed good. Say, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. Again, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. Say, the appointed door opens now. Again, the appointed door opens now. Let these sentences teach the mind a new habit. The old habit was fear. The new habit is authority under grace. The old habit was pleading. The new habit is declaring. The old habit was grasping at channels. The new habit is releasing channels to divine order. The old habit was asking with one hand and doubting with the other. The new habit is speaking the word and resting in its fulfillment. You do not need to force belief. Repeat the word softly. Let it become familiar. Faith often begins as a small flame. Do not criticize the flame because it is small. Protect it from the winds of fear. Feed it with the word. Let it grow. I do not command from fear. Again, I do not command from fear. I speak from spiritual authority. Again, I speak from spiritual authority. My word is under grace. Again, my word is under grace. Divine supply obeys divine law. Again, divine supply obeys divine law. Now let the mind consider the law of right relation. Money must be in right relation. It is not above God. It is not above peace. It is not above love. It is not above integrity. It is not above divine order. When money is in right relation, it becomes a servant. It serves the home. It serves work. It serves peace. It serves obligations. It serves freedom. It serves generosity. It serves the unfolding of good. But when money is made master, the soul becomes restless. Tonight, $90,000 is not your master. It is a servant under divine order. Say, this sum is a servant of divine order. Again, this sum is a servant of divine order. Say, this money serves good in perfect ways. Again, this money serves good in perfect ways. Now the command becomes clean. You are not commanding money as an idol. You are calling forth a servant of divine order. You are not demanding wealth as a decoration for pride. You are receiving supply as a form of good. You are not saying, I must have this or I am nothing. You are saying, if this is mine by divine right, it comes under grace and is used in perfect ways. Say, if this is mine by divine right, it comes under grace. Again, if this is mine by divine right, it comes under grace. Say, if this is my appointed supply, the perfect channel opens now. Again, if this is my appointed supply, the perfect channel opens now. There is deep peace in that protection. You are not forcing what is not yours. You are not begging for what would harm you. You are not accepting money mixed with sorrow. You are not calling forth a path that belongs to another. Under grace, only the right good comes, and it comes in the right way. This is why I love the words under grace. They purify desire. They purify the word. They purify the channel. They purify the timing. They purify the receiving. They purify the use. Say, my desire is under grace. Again, my desire is under grace. Say, my word is under grace. Again, my word is under grace. Say, my receiving is under grace. Again, my receiving is under grace. Now let the night become deeper. Perhaps the body is already quieter. Perhaps the mind is listening without effort. This is the hour in which authority need not be loud. Speak inwardly now, as though speaking from a calm center within the heart. I do not command from fear. I speak from spiritual authority. My word is under grace. Divine supply obeys divine law. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, I do not command from fear. I speak from spiritual authority. My word is under grace. Divine supply obeys divine law. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let every repetition remove pressure. The more under grace the word becomes, the less anxious it feels. The more divine order enters the matter, the less the mind has to control. The more you remember God as source, the less you fear the channel. The more you understand divine law, the less you tremble before appearances. Now listen, you are not persuading God. You are aligning with God. You are not forcing supply. You are agreeing with supply. You are not making something happen by panic. You are letting divine order happen through faith. You are not shouting into emptiness. You are speaking into the law. And the law is faithful. Say, the law is faithful. Again, the law is faithful. Say, divine law fulfills the right word. Again, divine law fulfills the right word. Do not speak the word and then cover it with fear. Do not say, $90,000 comes under grace, and then immediately say, but I cannot see how. Do not say, the perfect channel opens, and then immediately bind yourself to one channel. Do not say, God is my supply, and then make a person your source. Speak the word and let it stand. A word under grace must be allowed to stand. Say, I let my word stand under grace. Again, I let my word stand under grace. If doubt comes, do not be troubled. Simply return to the word. Doubt is an old servant that has forgotten it has been dismissed. It may come to the door once more. You need not fight it. You simply do not invite it in. Answer it with the word. If doubt says, this is too much, answer, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. If doubt says, you cannot command money, answer, I speak from spiritual authority under grace. If doubt says, the channel is closed, answer, the perfect channel is now open. If doubt says, you are only dreaming, answer, divine supply obeys divine law. If doubt says, there is no way, answer, infinite intelligence knows the perfect way. Now return. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. There is no strain in this sentence. There is no harshness. There is no violence. There is no grasping. It is a clean command, a faithful decree, a word spoken into divine law. It leaves all people free. It leaves all channels free. It leaves the timing to God. It leaves the method to infinite intelligence. It leaves the outcome under grace. This is spiritual authority, power without tension, faith without pressure, command without fear, receiving without guilt, supply without struggle. Say, power without tension. Again, power without tension. Say, faith without pressure. Again, faith without pressure. Say, command without fear. Again, command without fear. Say, supply without struggle. Again, supply without struggle. Now, as the mind grows quieter, let this teaching become simple. You do not have to remember every word. The soul may take only what it needs into sleep. I do not command from fear. My word is under grace. Divine supply obeys divine law. $90,000 comes under grace. Again, softly, I do not command from fear. My word is under grace. Divine supply obeys divine law. $90,000 comes under grace. And again, I do not command from fear. My word is under grace. Divine supply obeys divine law. $90,000 comes under grace. Now rest in the difference. You are not begging tonight. You are not pleading tonight. You are not pushing tonight. You are not forcing tonight. You are speaking from the quiet authority of faith. You are letting infinite spirit be the source. You are letting divine order select the channel. You are letting grace purify the way. The word has been spoken. The command is under grace. The channels are free. The source is inexhaustible. The law is faithful. And $90,000 comes to you now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now let us look upon this sum quietly, without fear and without worship. Let the number come before the mind, not as a giant, not as a master, not as a wall, not as a god, but as a form. Only a form. Only one possible expression of divine supply. A figure may seem large to the human mind because the human mind measures by what it has seen before. It measures by yesterday, by the purse, by wages, by old disappointments, by bills, by debts, by the visible channel. But infinite spirit does not measure by the little purse. Infinite spirit is not startled by figures. Infinite spirit is not exhausted by amounts. Infinite spirit is not made anxious by a number written on paper. Say softly, this sum is not my source. Again, this sum is not my source. And again, more gently, this sum is not my source. This is very important. If you make the sum your source, you become afraid of it. If you make the sum your savior, you become a servant of it. If you make the sum your peace, then your peace seems far away until the sum appears. But the sum is not the source. God is the source. Infinite spirit is the source. Divine supply is the source. Money is a form. A number is a form. A payment is a form. An amount is a form. It may serve, it may bless, it may release, it may open, it may provide, but it is not the fountain. The fountain is God. Say, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Again, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Now bring the number gently into that truth. $90,000 is a form of divine supply. Say it slowly. $90,000 is a form of divine supply. Again, $90,000 is a form of divine supply. Let it lose its harshness. Let it lose its glitter. Let it lose its fear. Let it lose the strange power the mind may have given it. It is not a strange and distant thing. It is not an impossible thing. It is not a forbidden thing. It is not an idol to be bowed before. It is a form of supply, and all true supply belongs under divine order. If this sum is needed by divine right, Infinite Spirit knows the perfect way. If this sum is part of your appointed good, divine order knows the perfect channel. If this sum is to serve your home, your work, your freedom, your obligations, your family, your peace, your usefulness, your right expansion, then infinite intelligence knows how to bring it under grace and in perfect ways. The human mind need not become proud about it. The human mind need not become ashamed of it. The human mind need not become frantic over it. The human mind need only place it under God. Say, I place this sum under divine order. Again, I place this sum under divine order. Say, I place $90,000 under grace. Again, I place $90,000 under grace. A large sum may frighten one who has lived long in small expectation. It may stir old voices. It may bring up the voice that says, who are you to receive so much? It may bring up the voice that says, this is too much to ask. It may bring up the voice that says, be modest, be silent, expect little. But I tell you that true modesty is not the refusal of your divine good. True humility is not the worship of lack. True spirituality is not calling poverty holy, while fear sits in the heart. True humility is to let God be God. True humility is to receive what Infinite Spirit gives under grace. True humility is to say, not my will of panic, not my will of pride, but divine order. If this good is mine by divine right, it comes in the perfect way. Say, what is mine by divine right comes under grace. Again, what is mine by divine right comes under grace. Again, softer. What is mine by divine right comes under grace. This sentence removes guilt from desire. It also removes grasping from desire. It does both. It says, I am willing to receive the good appointed for me. And it also says, I do not force what is not mine. This is why I speak always of divine right. What is yours by divine right blesses you and blesses all concerned. What is not yours by divine right could not give you lasting peace even if you forced it into your hands. So the prayer is safe, the decree is safe, the sum is safe, because it is under grace. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Say it quietly. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now let us see what this sum may represent when it is placed under divine order. It may represent relief, the long sigh of the heart when pressure is lifted. It may represent debts adjusted, bills blessed, obligations met, and accounts brought into perfect order. It may represent a home made peaceful, a table supplied, a family cared for, a business strengthened, a gift rightly given, a journey made possible, a work begun, a talent expressed, a burden removed from the mind. It may represent freedom from one old fear. It may represent room to breathe. It may represent the closing of an old chapter of struggle. It may represent the opening of a divine door. It may represent order where there has been confusion. It may represent dignity where there has been shame. It may represent generosity where there has been withholding. It may represent service where there has been helplessness. When money is under grace, it is not vulgar. It is not greedy. It is not harsh. It is not a false master. It becomes a servant of the divine plan. It becomes a means by which needs are met, burdens are lifted, homes are blessed, work is expressed, and good circulates. Say, this money serves divine order. Again, this money serves divine order. Say, this money blesses all concerned. Again, this money blesses all concerned. Now notice how different the number feels when it is not an idol. If you say, I must have $90,000 or I cannot be at peace, the number becomes a tyrant. If you say, $90,000 is my source, the number becomes a false god. If you say, only this amount can save me, the number becomes a prison. But if you say $90,000 is a form of divine supply, and if it is mine by divine right, it comes under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways, then the number becomes peaceful. It is placed where it belongs. It is brought into right relation. Say, this sum is in right relation. Again, this sum is in right relation. Say, money is my servant, not my master. Again, money is my servant, not my master. God is the source. Money is the form. Divine supply is the substance. The amount is only a visible expression. And because the source is unlimited, no expression of supply can frighten the source. A figure that startles the human mind is nothing to infinite spirit. The same divine law that brings the little supply can bring the large supply. The same infinite intelligence that opens one channel can open many channels. The same source that provides bread can provide freedom. Say, no amount is too large for infinite spirit. Again, no amount is too large for infinite spirit. Say, I do not measure God by my present purse. Again, I do not measure God by my present purse. The present purse is only a present appearance. It is not the measure of the infinite. The present account is only a present appearance. It is not the measure of divine supply. The present wage is only a present channel. It is not the measure of God. The present delay is only a present condition. It is not the measure of divine timing. Do not ask the visible world to define what infinite spirit may do. This is why I say, the perfect amount comes through the perfect channel. Say it now. The perfect amount comes through the perfect channel. Again, the perfect amount comes through the perfect channel. And now, the perfect amount comes through the perfect channel under grace. Again, the perfect amount comes through the perfect channel under grace. This protects you from strain. You do not need to drag the sum through a wrong door. You do not need to force a person. You do not need to disturb another's good. You do not need to make a reckless plan. You do not need to grasp at every passing opportunity as though it were your only hope. The perfect amount comes through the perfect channel. If the amount is appointed, the channel is appointed also. If the good is divine, the way is divine also. If the supply is under grace, the path must be under grace also. Let this calm you. The amount is not separate from the way. The supply is not separate from the channel. The need is not separate from divine wisdom. The desire is not separate from divine selection. The word is not separate from divine law. The perfect amount comes through the perfect channel. Again, the perfect amount comes through the perfect channel. Now let us remove fear from the phrase large sum. Many have been trained to think that a large sum must come with trouble. They imagine conflict, pressure, responsibility, loss, envy, danger, or confusion. Then they wonder why the heart resists receiving. The heart may secretly fear what it asks for. Tonight, we bless the receiving of a large sum. We place the receiving under divine love. We let the sum come cleanly, peacefully, and rightly. Say, I receive large supply without fear. Again, I receive large supply without fear. Say, I receive under grace, and I use wisely under grace. Again, I receive under grace, and I use wisely under grace. If $90,000 comes as your appointed good, it comes with wisdom for its use. It comes with divine guidance for its order. It comes with peace for its handling. It comes with right understanding. It does not make you less spiritual. It does not make you less kind. It does not make you less faithful. Money under grace does not corrupt the heart. Fear corrupts the heart. Greed corrupts the heart. Worship of money corrupts the heart. But money placed under God becomes a servant. Say, this money is blessed and guided. Again, this money is blessed and guided. Say, this money is used in perfect ways. Again, this money is used in perfect ways. Now let the mind grow comfortable with the number without clutching it. There is a beautiful balance in spiritual prosperity. One must be able to name the good without worshipping it. One must be able to receive the good without fearing it. One must be able to desire the good without making desire a burden. One must be able to speak a definite word and then leave the way to infinite spirit. That is mastery under grace. Name the amount, but do not worship it. Speak the word, but do not force the channel. Receive the good, but do not make it your source. Bless the money, but remember God. Say, I name the amount under grace. Again, I name the amount under grace. Say, I release the way to infinite spirit. Again, I release the way to infinite spirit. Now return to the central word. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let each part of the sentence do its holy work. $90,000 comes to me now. This gives the word direction, under grace. This gives the word purity, through perfect channels. This gives the word freedom from force, and in perfect ways. This gives the word peace. Now speak it as a whole. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Do not say it as one begging at the back door of life. Say it as one placing a matter before divine law. Say it as one who knows that if this sum is part of the divine plan, no appearance can prevent it. Say it as one who is willing for it to come cleanly, rightly, and with blessing to all concerned. Now say, if this sum is mine by divine right, it cannot be withheld. Again, if this sum is mine by divine right, it cannot be withheld. Say, if this sum is mine by divine right, it cannot be lost. Again, if this sum is mine by divine right, it cannot be lost. Say, if this sum is mine by divine right, it comes under grace. Again, if this sum is mine by divine right, it comes under grace. There is relief in such words. They remove the strain of personal forcing. They remove the fear of missing your good. They remove the thought that you must seize supply before someone else takes it. There is no competition in divine supply. Your good does not deprive another. Another's good does not deprive you. Infinite spirit is not divided into anxious portions. Divine supply is inexhaustible. Say, there is no competition in divine supply. Again, there is no competition in divine supply. Say, my good blesses all concerned. Again, my good blesses all concerned. Now let us speak to the guilt that may arise. Perhaps a voice says, why should I receive $90,000 when others need money? Bless that tender feeling, for it may be compassion mixed with fear. But do not let it become a refusal of your own good. Your receiving under grace does not take from the world. Your receiving under grace may enable you to give, serve, pay, build, uplift, care, and bless. A dry well gives no water. A supplied life can become a channel of blessing. Say, I receive so that good may circulate. Again, I receive so that good may circulate. Say, I am blessed to be a blessing. Again, I am blessed to be a blessing. When money comes under grace, it circulates under grace. It may meet your needs first, and that is good. It may relieve your household, and that is good. It may release old obligations, and that is good. It may support right work, and that is good. It may allow you to help another wisely, and that is good. It may give you room to breathe, and that too is good. Peace is good. Order is good. Freedom from fear is good. Do not call your relief selfish when divine love would free you from fear. Say, it is safe for me to receive my appointed good. Again, it is safe for me to receive my appointed good. Say, it is safe for my life to be supplied under grace. Again, it is safe for my life to be supplied under grace. Now let the number become less sharp and more luminous. It is not a cold figure. It is not a demand. It is not a pressure. It is a possible form of divine supply. See it as covered with the light of grace. See it as surrounded by divine order. See it as passing through a clean channel. See it as arriving without harm. See it as serving good. See it as bringing relief, order, and blessing. Do not strain to imagine. Simply let the feeling be peaceful. $90,000 under grace. Say it softly. $90,000 under grace. Again, $90,000 under grace. Now add, through perfect channels. Again, through perfect channels. And, in perfect ways. Again, in perfect ways. Now the full sentence. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let it sink deeper. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let it rest in the silence. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. If the mind asks, but do I deserve it? Answer with truth. You are not earning divine supply by fear. You are not buying grace by worry. You are not proving worth by suffering. Your appointed good comes by divine right, under grace, and it is fulfilled according to divine law. Worthiness is not arrogance. Worthiness is willingness to receive what infinite spirit has appointed. Say, I am willing to receive my appointed good. Again, I am willing to receive my appointed good. Say, I receive by divine right, under grace. Again, I receive by divine right, under grace. If the mind asks, but what if this is not for me? Answer peacefully. Under grace protects you. If this exact form is not yours by divine right, then the perfect form of supply is selected. If this amount is not the exact form, then the amount that fulfills the divine plan comes. If this channel is not the right channel, the perfect channel opens. You are not trapped by a number. You are guided by infinite spirit. Say, I accept the perfect form of my supply. Again, I accept the perfect form of my supply. Say, I accept the perfect amount under grace. Again, I accept the perfect amount under grace. This is not weakness, it is spiritual intelligence. You can speak a definite word and still leave room for God's perfection. You can call forth $90,000 under grace and know that divine order will bring exactly what is right. The personal will names the desire. Grace purifies it. Divine intelligence fulfills it in the perfect way. Now say, my desire is purified under grace. Again, my desire is purified under grace. Say, my receiving is governed by divine order. Again, my receiving is governed by divine order. Now rest from all inner argument. The number has been placed correctly. It is not above God. It is not above peace. It is not above divine love. It is not above right action. It is not above the soul. It is under grace. This sum is not my source. $90,000 is a form of divine supply. What is mine by divine right comes under grace. The perfect amount comes through the perfect channel. Again slowly. This sum is not my source. $90,000 is a form of divine supply. What is mine by divine right comes under grace. The perfect amount comes through the perfect channel. Again softer. This sum is not my source. $90,000 is a form of divine supply. What is mine by divine right comes under grace. The perfect amount comes through the perfect channel. Now let these words become a gentle correction of all fear. If you are afraid of wanting too much, let that fear be corrected. If you are ashamed of naming a number, let that shame be corrected. If you are making the number your savior, let that false burden be corrected. If you are making the number impossible, let that limitation be corrected. If you are making the channel narrow, let that narrowness be corrected. The sum is under grace. The desire is under grace. The receiving is under grace. The channel is under grace. The use is under grace. The timing is under grace. The whole matter is under grace. Say, the whole matter is under grace. Again, the whole matter is under grace. Now breathe more softly. Let the number become peaceful. Let it lie down, as you lie down, in divine order. There is no need to wrestle with it. There is no need to explain it to fear. There is no need to justify your receiving to the old voices of lack. There is no need to make it smaller so the mind feels safe. Make your trust larger. Make your remembrance of God larger. Make your willingness larger. Make your peace larger. No number is greater than infinite spirit. Say, no number is greater than infinite spirit. Again, no number is greater than infinite spirit. Say, no need is greater than divine supply. Again, no need is greater than divine supply. Say, no desire under grace is outside divine order. Again, no desire under grace is outside divine order. Now let the central affirmation return like a quiet tide. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, slower. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now you may rest in this understanding. The number is not your God. The number is not your source. The number is not your worth. The number is not your peace. It is a form of supply, and supply comes from God. If this form is yours by divine right, it comes cleanly and perfectly. If divine wisdom chooses another form, it will fulfill the need in a better way. You are safe because the matter is under grace. Say, I am safe to desire under grace. Again, I am safe to desire under grace. Say, I am safe to receive under grace. Again, I am safe to receive under grace. Say, I am safe to prosper under grace. Again, I am safe to prosper under grace. Now let the soul be quiet. There is no guilt here. There is no greed here. There is no panic here. There is only a sum placed before infinite spirit, purified by grace, governed by divine order, carried by divine law, and received, if it is appointed, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. This sum is not my source. $90,000 is a form of divine supply. What is mine by divine right comes under grace. The perfect amount comes through the perfect channel. And now, softly, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. The amount is blessed. The channel is blessed. The timing is blessed. The receiving is blessed. The use is blessed. The whole matter is blessed. And I rest, knowing that what is mine by divine right comes under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now let us speak of the word, for the word is the wand in the hand of the soul. Your word is your wand. Say it softly, not as something new, but as something you have always known in the secret chamber of the heart. Your word is your wand. Again, your word is your wand. A wand does not merely describe what is seen before it. A wand directs. A wand blesses. A wand opens. A wand clears the path. Your word is such a wand when it is spoken under grace, when it is lifted in faith, when it is not broken by fear, when it is not turned against your own good. Many carry in their hands a golden wand and use it as though it were a stick for striking their own prosperity. They speak lack over money and then wonder why the channel feels narrow. They speak impossibility over a sum and then wonder why the door seems closed. They speak unworthiness over receiving and then wonder why the heart trembles when good approaches. Tonight, we take the wand back from fear. Tonight, the word is lifted in divine order. Tonight, you do not speak against your appointed supply. Say, I do not speak against my appointed supply. Again, I do not speak against my appointed supply. Again, more softly, I do not speak against my appointed supply. This is a sacred beginning. It is one thing to ask for supply. It is another thing to stop sending words against it. A person may say, I desire money, and then say, money is impossible. A person may say, I wish to receive, and then say, I am not worthy. A person may say, I need a great sum, and then say, that is too much. A person may say, I believe God provides, and then say, there is no way. The word has been divided. The wand has been shaken between fear and faith. Tonight, it becomes steady. Your word is your wand. You must not send it out as a frightened servant carrying messages of defeat. Send it as a messenger of divine supply. Send it as a herald of grace. Send it as a quiet command that the perfect channels open, that the perfect amount comes, that the perfect way is revealed, that all is done under divine order and in perfect peace. Say, my word opens the way for $90,000 under grace. Again, my word opens the way for $90,000 under grace. Again, my word opens the way for $90,000 under grace. Let this phrase enter the stillness of the night. It is not harsh. It is not frantic. It is not a shout. It is not an anxious bargain with life. It is a clear word, a faithful word, a word placed under grace, where it can harm no one and bless all concerned. My word opens the way for $90,000 under grace. If fear says, that is too much, do not quarrel with fear. Simply lift the wand and speak again. No sum is too large for infinite spirit. If fear says, it could never happen, do not argue with fear. Simply lift the wand and speak again. What is mine by divine right comes under grace. If fear says, I am not worthy, do not sit down with fear and let it tell the old story. Lift the wand and speak again. I am worthy to receive my appointed good. If fear says, money is impossible, lift the wand and speak again. Divine supply knows no impossibility. In this way, the word becomes your servant again. It no longer serves lack. It serves divine order. Your word is your wand. Again, your word is your wand. Now, let us consider how quietly a word may close a channel. It need not be a great dramatic statement. A little sentence spoken every day can become a gate. I cannot afford it. There is never enough. Money does not stay. People like me never receive such sums. I always struggle. Nothing changes. This is impossible. These words may seem small, but they are instructions sent into the invisible. They tell the mind where to look, what to expect, what to reject, and what to fear. Do not sleep with such words at the door. Do not let them stand guard over your night. Dismiss them kindly but firmly. Say, I dismiss every word of lack. Again, I dismiss every word of lack. Say, I speak the word of divine supply. Again, I speak the word of divine supply. A word of lack does not become powerful because God agrees with it. It becomes powerful because you keep repeating it until you accept it as law. But it is not law. Lack is not the law of God. Fear is not the law of God. Delay is not the law of God. Confusion is not the law of God. Divine supply is law. Divine order is law. Grace is law. Right action is law. Perfect channels are law. The spoken word under grace is law in motion. Say, my word is under grace. Again, my word is under grace. Now place $90,000 under that word. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Do not let the mind run away after the sentence and ask, but how? The how is not the first business of the night. The first business of the night is the right word. The anxious mind begins with the channel. Faith begins with the source. The anxious mind begins with calculation. Faith begins with divine order. The anxious mind begins with fear of not having. Faith begins with the truth that God is the unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Say, I begin with God as source. Again, I begin with God as source. Say, I begin with the word under grace. Again, I begin with the word under grace. When the right word is spoken, the mind is re-educated. It stops bowing before the old figure. It stops fearing the large sum. It stops making one door the whole of life. It stops saying this cannot be. It stops insulting the power of infinite spirit by calling a sum impossible. No number can frighten infinite spirit. Say, no number can frighten infinite spirit. Again, no number can frighten infinite spirit. Say, $90,000 is under divine order. Again, $90,000 is under divine order. Now let us replace the old phrases one by one, because substitution is a blessed practice. Do not leave the house of the mind empty after fear has departed. Place the word of faith in every room. If the old thought says, that is too much, place this word, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. Again, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. If the old thought says, it could never happen, place this word, the perfect way is already known to God. Again, the perfect way is already known to God. If the old thought says, I am not worthy, place this word, I receive my appointed good under grace. Again, I receive my appointed good under grace. If the old thought says, money is impossible, place this word, divine supply opens the perfect channels. Again, divine supply opens the perfect channels. If the old thought says, there is no way, place this word, infinite spirit opens the way when no way appears. Again, infinite spirit opens the way when no way appears. Now speak the central word again. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. The word must not be used carelessly. People are often careful with a purse and careless with a sentence. They guard their coins, but scatter words of poverty. They count their money, but spend their speech on fear. They lock a door at night, but leave the mind open to every thief of lack, every old belief, every prophecy of failure. I say to you gently, guard the word. Not with tension, but with reverence. Do not say, I am ruined. Say, divine order restores all things. Do not say, I am always behind. Say, my affairs are brought into perfect order. Do not say, this will never be paid. Say, every obligation is met under grace. Do not say, no one will help. Say, the right people are moved by divine order. Do not say, I cannot receive $90,000. Say, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Your word is your wand. Say it again. Your word is your wand. The wand may open a door, or the wand may close a door. The wand may bless the purse, or curse it. The wand may free money to circulate under grace, or bind it in fear. The wand may call forth the perfect channel, or declare that no channel exists. The wand may place the sum in divine order, or place it under panic. Tonight you choose. You choose the word of supply. You choose the word of grace. You choose the word of perfect channels. You choose the word of divine right. You choose the word that opens. Say, I choose the word that opens. Again, I choose the word that opens. Say, my word opens the perfect way. Again, my word opens the perfect way. And now, I send my word before me, and it opens the perfect way. Again, I send my word before me, and it opens the perfect way. Let this be a very beautiful image in the mind. Your word goes before you like a trusted messenger in the dawn. It does not stumble. It does not fear the road. It is not confused by appearances. It does not stop at one closed gate and weep. It goes on under divine order. It finds the right person, the right channel, the right idea, the right opportunity, the right adjustment, the right timing, the right door. It carries no panic with it. It carries grace. I send my word before me, and it opens the perfect way. Again, I send my word before me, and it opens the perfect way. You do not need to follow the word with anxious footsteps. You do not need to keep watch over it all night. You do not need to send another word of fear after it. Let the faithful word go. Let it travel under grace. Let infinite intelligence fulfill it in perfect ways. Say, my word has gone forth under grace. Again, my word has gone forth under grace. Say, I do not call it back with doubt. Again, I do not call it back with doubt. How often people send forth a word of faith and then call it back with fear. They say, my supply comes, and then say, but I do not see how. They say, the perfect channel opens, and then say, but this door is closed. They say, God is my supply, and then say, but this person has not answered. They say, I receive under grace, and then say, but I am afraid it is too much. Do not call back the messenger. Let the word stand. Say, I let my word stand under grace. Again, I let my word stand under grace. And now, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let the phrase become calm, not exciting. The night does not need excitement. The night needs spiritual certainty. Excitement rises and falls. Certainty rests. Excitement asks, is it here yet? Certainty says, it is done in divine mind, and it appears under grace. Excitement runs to the window. Certainty sleeps in peace. Excitement tries to force the channel. Certainty releases the channel to infinite spirit. Say, I release the channel to infinite spirit. Again, I release the channel to infinite spirit. Say, I release the timing to divine order. Again, I release the timing to divine order. Say, I release the amount to grace. Again, I release the amount to grace. You may name the amount without clinging to it. You may speak $90,000 without making it your master. You may command the sum under grace and release the way. This is the balance of spiritual speech. The word is definite, but the heart is free. The decree is clear, but the method belongs to God. The desire is named, but the outcome is purified by grace. Say, my word is definite, and my heart is free. Again, my word is definite, and my heart is free. Say, I speak clearly and release completely. Again, I speak clearly and release completely. Now consider the 4 old phrases that must not go with you into sleep. That is too much. It could never happen. I am not worthy. Money is impossible. These are not harmless phrases. They are little gates closed by the hand of fear. Each one says to supply, do not come here. Each one says to the channel, remain hidden. Each one says to the heart, stay small. Each one says to divine order, I will not trust you. Tonight, we remove them. Say, I withdraw the words, that is too much. Again, I withdraw the words, that is too much. Now replace them. No sum is too large for infinite spirit. Again, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. Say, I withdraw the words, it could never happen. Again, I withdraw the words, it could never happen. Now replace them. With God, the perfect way is already known. Again, with God, the perfect way is already known. Say, I withdraw the words, I am not worthy. Again, I withdraw the words, I am not worthy. Now replace them, I am worthy to receive my appointed good. Again, I am worthy to receive my appointed good. Say, I withdraw the words, money is impossible. Again, I withdraw the words, money is impossible. Now replace them, divine supply moves through perfect channels now. Again, divine supply moves through perfect channels now. Do you see how the wand works? The old word closed, the new word opens, the old word frightened, the new word blesses, the old word made the number heavy, the new word places the number under grace. The old word made money master, the new word makes money a servant of divine order. Your word is your wand. My word opens the way for $90,000 under grace. I do not speak against my appointed supply. I send my word before me, and it opens the perfect way. Again, softly, your word is your wand. My word opens the way for $90,000 under grace. I do not speak against my appointed supply. I send my word before me, and it opens the perfect way. Now let us speak about worthiness, because this word often stands between the soul and supply. Some people fear that receiving a large sum would be wrong. Others fear that they are not good enough, clever enough, young enough, old enough, fortunate enough, deserving enough, spiritual enough, or prepared enough. But your appointed good does not come because the anxious mind has passed some impossible test. It comes by divine right, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Worthiness is not arrogance. Worthiness is consent to divine good. Say, I consent to my appointed good. Again, I consent to my appointed good. Say, I receive what is mine by divine right. Again, I receive what is mine by divine right. Now place $90,000 there. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace, if it is my appointed good. Again, I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace, if it is my appointed good. This makes the word safe. It removes the fear that you are forcing something wrong. It removes the fear that you are taking from another. It removes the fear that the desire itself is unclean. Under grace, the desire is purified. Under grace, only the right good can stay. Under grace, the channel blesses all concerned. Say, my good blesses all concerned. Again, my good blesses all concerned. Say, my receiving is clean and peaceful. Again, my receiving is clean and peaceful. Now let the word command the inner world again. You are not commanding a person. You are commanding fear to be silent. You are not commanding harm. You are commanding divine order to be recognized. You are not commanding greed. You are commanding supply to serve good. You are not commanding one road. You are commanding the perfect road to open. You are not commanding from ego. You are commanding under grace. Say, I command under grace. Again, I command under grace. Say, my command is calm, faithful, and blessed. Again, my command is calm, faithful, and blessed. This is the kind of word that may be taken into sleep. A harsh word disturbs sleep. A frightened word poisons sleep. A doubtful word divides sleep. But a word under grace becomes a lullaby of power. It can repeat softly while the body rests. It can continue like a quiet river beneath the night. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now let it become simpler. $90,000 comes under grace. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. Again, the perfect channel opens. My word opens the way. Again, my word opens the way. I do not speak against my supply. Again, I do not speak against my supply. Now the full word returns. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels, and in perfect ways. The word is not asking fear for permission. The word is not asking the past for approval. The word is not asking one channel to become God. The word is not asking the world whether supply is possible. The word is spoken into divine law. Divine law knows how to fulfill the right word. Say, divine law fulfills the right word. Again, divine law fulfills the right word. Say, my right word is fulfilled under grace. Again, my right word is fulfilled under grace. Now let us speak to the mind that says, I have spoken wrong words before. Yes, perhaps you have. Perhaps you have called money hard. Perhaps you have called the amount impossible. Perhaps you have called yourself unworthy. Perhaps you have cursed the bill, feared the debt, resented the delay, doubted the channel. Do not condemn yourself. A frightened word may be corrected by a faithful word. An old sentence may be withdrawn. A new word may be spoken now. Say, I cancel every frightened word about money. Again, I cancel every frightened word about money. Say, I cancel every frightened word about $90,000. Say, I speak now the word of divine supply. Again, I speak now the word of divine supply. This is the mercy of spiritual law. You may choose again. You may speak again. You may place the matter under grace now. Do not let the past use your mouth tonight. Do not let an old disappointment borrow your tongue. Do not let yesterday's fear write tomorrow's sentence. Your word is your wand now. Say, my word belongs to faith now. Again, my word belongs to faith now. Say, my word belongs to divine order now. Again, my word belongs to divine order now. Say, my word belongs to supply now. Again, my word belongs to supply now. Now bless the sum again. $90,000 is blessed under grace. Again, $90,000 is blessed under grace. Bless the channel. The channel is blessed under grace. Again, the channel is blessed under grace. Bless the timing. The timing is blessed under grace. Again, the timing is blessed under grace. Bless the use. The use is blessed under grace. Again, the use is blessed under grace. Bless the receiving. My receiving is blessed under grace. Again, my receiving is blessed under grace. When something is blessed, it is lifted from fear into divine order. Do not curse the sum by calling it impossible. Bless it. Do not curse the channel by calling it closed. Bless it. Do not curse yourself by calling yourself unworthy. Bless yourself. Do not curse the future by saying nothing changes. Bless the future. A blessing is a word that opens. Say, my blessing opens the way. Again, my blessing opens the way. Say, my blessing clears the channel. Again, my blessing clears the channel. Say, my blessing prepares my receiving. Again, my blessing prepares my receiving. Now the body may become heavy, and that is good. Let the heaviness be rest, not burden. Let the mind become slower, and that is good. Let the slowness be peace, not confusion. Let the words become simple, and that is good. A simple word spoken in faith is greater than many worried sentences. Your word is your wand. My word opens the way. $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. I receive in perfect ways. Again, your word is your wand. My word opens the way. $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. I receive in perfect ways. Now, speak as though the word is being sent ahead into the night. I send my word before me, and it opens the perfect way. Again, I send my word before me, and it opens the perfect way. See no particular road, force no particular person, demand no particular method. Simply know that the word goes forth under grace. It may prepare an idea. It may awaken courage. It may draw a divine appointment. It may open a letter, a conversation, an opportunity, a sale, a settlement, an adjustment, an increase, a gift, a repayment, a new work, or a way you have not considered. The channel is not your burden tonight. Say, the channel is not my burden tonight. Again, the channel is not my burden tonight. Say, Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. Again, Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. And now, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. There is no need to force the sentence. Let it rock the mind like a cradle. Let it wash the old fear from the inner speech. Let it become natural. Let it become the answer to every objection. Let it become the last word before sleep. If the mind says too much, answer, under grace. If the mind says impossible, answer, perfect ways. If the mind says unworthy, answer, divine right. If the mind says no channel, answer, perfect channels. If the mind says no time, answer, divine timing. If the mind says no way, answer, Infinite Spirit opens the way. Now the objections grow tired. The word remains. $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. My word opens the way. I do not speak against my supply. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. My word opens the way. I do not speak against my supply. Let us return one final time to the wand. A wand in the hand of fear draws circles of limitation. A wand in the hand of faith draws the path of supply. Tonight, the wand is in the hand of faith. It is not used to strike. It is used to bless. It is not used to demand from another. It is used to open what divine order has appointed. It is not used in panic. It is used under grace. Your word is your wand. Again, your word is your wand. My word opens the way for $90,000 under grace. Again, my word opens the way for $90,000 under grace. I do not speak against my appointed supply. Again, I do not speak against my appointed supply. I send my word before me and it opens the perfect way. Again, I send my word before me and it opens the perfect way. Now rest. The old words have been corrected. The sum has been blessed. The channel has been released. The wand has been lifted under grace. The word has gone before you. There is no need to say that is too much. There is no need to say it could never happen. There is no need to say I am not worthy. There is no need to say money is impossible. The new word is here. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, softly, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, slower, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Your word is your wand. The wand is lifted. The way is opening. The perfect channel is blessed. The appointed supply is under grace. And the word goes before you, opening the perfect way. Now let us make the mind wider, for a large sum often frightens the little mind before it has even been placed under grace. The human mind looks at a number and begins at once to measure. It measures by the money now in the purse. It measures by the amount received last week, last month, last year. It measures by old wages, old delays, old debts, old disappointments, old refusals, old fears, old doors that did not open. It looks at $90,000 and says, that is far away, that is too much, that belongs to someone else, that could not come to me. But this is only the mind measuring God by a small ruler. Say softly, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. Again, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. And again more gently, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. Let that sentence do its quiet work. Do not hurry past it. Let it enlarge the room within you. Let it push back the walls of old expectation. Let it remind you that infinite spirit is not startled by the figure that startles you. Infinite spirit is not troubled by the amount that troubles your imagination. Infinite spirit is not bound by wages, prices, debts, dates, purses, accounts, visible roads, or human calculation. A large sum may appear large to the human mind, but the infinite does not become larger or smaller according to the figure you name. God is not exhausted by $90,000. God is not strained by $90,000. God does not say, this is more than I can arrange. Infinite intelligence does not sit in confusion before a number. Divine supply does not tremble before a sum. Say, I do not measure God by my present purse. Again, I do not measure God by my present purse. Again, with rest. I do not measure God by my present purse. The present purse is not the measure of your supply. It is only a present appearance. The present account is not the measure of your supply. It is only a visible condition. The present wage is not the measure of your supply. It is only one channel. The present bill is not the measure of your supply. It is only one demand placed under divine order. The present delay is not the measure of your supply. It is only a condition awaiting divine timing. God is the measure of your supply. Say, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Again, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Now place the number beside that truth. Do not place it beside fear. Do not place it beside yesterday. Do not place it beside the purse. Do not place it beside the debt. Place it beside infinite spirit. $90,000. Infinite spirit. $90,000. Divine supply. $90,000. God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Now the number is no longer standing alone. It is standing in divine order. It is no longer a wall. It is a form. It is no longer a burden. It is a possible expression of supply. It is no longer a threat. It is under grace. Say, $90,000 is under grace. Again, $90,000 is under grace. Say, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. The mind asks at once, how? The mind has been trained to ask how before it trusts. It says, how can this happen? Through what road? Through what person? Through what work? Through what payment? Through what opportunity? Through what plan? And because it cannot see the whole way, it closes the door in thought. But I say to you tonight, the how belongs to infinite intelligence. Say it softly, the how belongs to infinite intelligence. Again, the how belongs to infinite intelligence. Again, the how belongs to infinite intelligence. This is one of the most restful truths you can take into sleep. The how is not your burden tonight. You may be shown right action at the right time. You may be guided tomorrow, or the next day, or at the appointed hour. You may receive an idea, a letter, a conversation, an invitation, a payment, an opportunity, an adjustment, or a simple inward knowing. But tonight, while you are preparing for sleep, you need not force the how. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. Your word belongs to you. The channel belongs to infinite spirit. The timing belongs to divine order. The amount belongs under grace. The way belongs to God. Say, I release the how to infinite intelligence. Again, I release the how to infinite intelligence. Say, I release the size of the sum to divine order. Again, I release the size of the sum to divine order. Let that phrase loosen the pressure in the mind. I release the size of the sum to divine order. The size is what frightens the imagination. The size makes the mind begin to calculate. The size makes old fear say, this is too much. But size is a human measurement. To infinite spirit, the important thing is not whether the sum seems large or small to you, but whether it is right, whether it is under grace, whether it blesses all concerned, whether it is part of the divine plan, whether it comes through perfect channels and is used in perfect ways. Say, I release the size of the sum to divine order. Again, I release the size of the sum to divine order. Now let us speak to the old habit of making large sums impossible. Perhaps the mind has a ceiling. It has been taught to expect only a little increase, only a small relief, only enough to survive, only enough to pay one bill and then worry over the next. It has been taught that large sums belong to other people. It has been taught that money comes only through hard roads, strained roads, exhausted roads. It has been taught that a great amount must mean a great struggle. But these are human teachings. They are not divine law. Say, I release every old limit around money. Again, I release every old limit around money. Say, I release the belief that large supply is impossible. Again, I release the belief that large supply is impossible. The fact that the mind has not seen a road does not mean the road does not exist. The fact that the mind has not held the sum before does not mean the sum cannot come. The fact that the old channels were narrow does not mean all channels are narrow. The fact that yesterday did not contain the answer does not mean divine supply is absent today. Infinite Spirit has ways you cannot see. Say, Infinite Spirit has ways I cannot see. Again, Infinite Spirit has ways I cannot see. The mind sees a closed door and thinks the house is closed. Infinite Intelligence sees every door in the house. The mind sees one road and thinks the journey is impossible. Divine Order knows a way through the hills, a way through the fields, a way through the hidden gate, a way prepared before you even knew you had need of it. The mind sees one purse and thinks supply is limited. Infinite Spirit sees the whole treasury of good. Say, the treasury of divine supply is inexhaustible. Again, the treasury of divine supply is inexhaustible. Now bring the number again. $90,000 comes under grace. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. The mind may still try to shrink it. It may say, ask for less. It may say, do not expect so much. It may say, this will only disappoint you. But fear often calls itself protection. It says, I am keeping you safe from disappointment, when truly it is keeping you confined in old expectation. Faith does not require you to be reckless. Faith does not ask you to live in foolishness. Faith does not ask you to abandon right action, order, wisdom, or patience. Faith asks you not to make fear your prophet. Faith asks you not to call divine supply impossible. Faith asks you not to insult Infinite Spirit with your own limitation. Say, I do not make fear my prophet. Again, I do not make fear my prophet. Say, I let divine supply speak the final word. Again, I let divine supply speak the final word. And the final word is, no sum is too large for Infinite Spirit. Again, no sum is too large for Infinite Spirit. Now let us put every visible limitation in its place. A salary is a channel, not the source. A customer is a channel, not the source. A business is a channel, not the source. A sale is a channel, not the source. A payment is a channel, not the source. A bank is a channel, not the source. A letter is a channel, not the source. A person is a channel, not the source. The source is God. Say, the channel may change, but the source never fails. Again, the channel may change, but the source never fails. If you measure $90,000 by one channel, it may seem impossible. If you measure it by Infinite Spirit, it is placed in right relation. If you measure it by your present purse, it may seem far away. If you measure it by God as source, the heart begins to rest. If you measure it by old experience, it may seem strange. If you measure it by divine law, it becomes a form of supply under grace. Say, I do not measure God by my present purse. Again, I do not measure God by my present purse. Say, I do not measure divine supply by old channels. Again, I do not measure divine supply by old channels. Say, I do not measure my future by yesterday. Again, I do not measure my future by yesterday. Now let the mind be stretched, not strained. There is a gentle expansion that comes when faith grows. It does not feel like panic. It feels like more room. It feels as though the soul has been living in a small chamber, and a window has opened. The air changes, the light enters. The room was never the whole house. The old expectation was never the whole law. Say, my capacity to receive is expanding under grace. Again, my capacity to receive is expanding under grace. Say, I am willing to receive larger supply in perfect ways. Again, I am willing to receive larger supply in perfect ways. This is not greed. This is willingness. Greed clutches. Willingness receives. Greed fears others. Willingness blesses all concerned. Greed makes money a god. Willingness places money under God. Greed is never satisfied. Willingness says, let divine supply come in the form and amount appointed, and let it serve divine order. Say, I receive without greed and without fear. Again, I receive without greed and without fear. Say, I receive under grace, through perfect channels. Again, I receive under grace through perfect channels. A large sum under grace must be clean. It must be peaceful. It must bless all concerned. It must come in a way that does not rob another, disturb another, or bind the soul to anxiety. Under grace, the sum is purified. Under grace, the channel is purified. Under grace, the use is purified. Under grace, even the desire is purified. Say, my desire is purified under grace. Again, my desire is purified under grace. Say, my receiving is guided by divine order. Again, my receiving is guided by divine order. Now we return to the mind's favorite question. How? The how is a little hook. Fear uses it to pull the mind back into calculation. You speak the word, and fear says, but how? You place the sum under grace, and fear says, but how? You remember God as source, and fear says, but how? If you follow fear into the how, you may wander all night through narrow passages. Tonight you answer once, and return to rest. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. Again, the how belongs to infinite intelligence. If the how is to be shown to you, it will be shown clearly. If action is yours to take, it will be revealed in divine timing. If a door is yours to open, it will be indicated. If a person is yours to speak to, the word will be given. If a channel is yours to receive from, the channel will open under grace. But the nervous mind need not invent the how tonight. Say, I do not invent the how from fear. Again, I do not invent the how from fear. Say, I receive the how from infinite intelligence. Again, I receive the how from infinite intelligence. Now consider how many ways divine supply may express. It may come through work, but it is not limited to work. It may come through a sale, but it is not limited to a sale. It may come through a repayment, but it is not limited to a repayment. It may come through a business, but it is not limited to a business. It may come through an idea, an introduction, an opportunity, an adjustment, a settlement, an increase, a gift, a right exchange, a new form of service, or a channel not yet named by your mind. Why should you reduce infinite spirit to the few doors you can remember tonight? Say, I do not reduce infinite spirit to one door. Again, I do not reduce infinite spirit to one door. Say, the perfect channels are open now. Again, the perfect channels are open now. A large sum may come through many perfect channels or one perfect channel. It may arrive as an amount, or it may first arrive as the thing the amount would have provided. Divine supply is intelligent. It knows whether the need is money, arrangement, release, reduction, opportunity, cancellation, increase, wisdom, or a new path. You may name the sum and still trust the wisdom of God to fulfill the good in the perfect way. Say, the perfect amount comes in the perfect way. Again, the perfect amount comes in the perfect way. Say, the perfect supply meets the perfect need. Again, the perfect supply meets the perfect need. Now place $90,000 gently in this larger understanding. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let it feel natural to speak it. Not ordinary in the sense of careless, but natural in the sense that the soul no longer shakes before it. Speak it as one would speak of light coming through a window when the curtain is drawn. Speak it as one would speak of water flowing from a spring. Speak it as one would speak of a messenger arriving at the appointed hour. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. The mind may say, I have never received such a sum. That may be so, but the future is not required to copy the past. The law of divine supply is not limited by your previous experience. The fact that a door has not opened before does not mean it cannot open now. The fact that you have not held something before does not mean you are forbidden to hold it under grace. Say, my past does not limit divine supply. Again, my past does not limit divine supply. Say, my past does not command my appointed good. Again, my past does not command my appointed good. God is not looking at your past to decide the size of your future. Infinite Spirit is not consulting your old disappointments to determine your supply. Divine order is not limited by what failed before. The old story may be finished. A new word may be spoken. A new channel may open. A new amount may appear. A new order may be established. Say, a new order is established under grace. Again, a new order is established under grace. Say, my financial life is enlarged by divine supply. Again, my financial life is enlarged by divine supply. Now let us speak to the fear of responsibility. Sometimes a person makes large sums feel impossible because secretly they fear receiving them. They fear they will not know what to do. They fear they will lose it. They fear others will ask too much. They fear they will be judged. They fear they will make mistakes. They fear money will disturb their peace. Place all of that under grace. Say, I receive with wisdom under grace. Again, I receive with wisdom under grace. Say, I handle larger supply with divine guidance. Again, I handle larger supply with divine guidance. Say, I am guided in the right use of money. Again, I am guided in the right use of money. If $90,000 comes under grace, the wisdom for its use comes under grace also. The order for its handling comes under grace. The peace for its receiving comes under grace. The right distribution, saving, paying, giving, building, restoring, or resting comes under grace. Divine supply does not abandon you after it appears. Infinite intelligence guides both the receiving and the use. Say, the receiving is guided. Again, the receiving is guided. Say, the use is guided. Again, the use is guided. Say, the whole matter is guided. Again, the whole matter is guided. Now the sum can feel less overwhelming. It is not coming into confusion. It is coming under divine order. It is not falling into fear. It is coming under grace. It is not entering a heart that must carry it alone. It is entering a life guided by infinite intelligence. I release the size of the sum to divine order. Say it again. I release the size of the sum to divine order. And now, I release my fear of receiving to divine love. Again, I release my fear of receiving to divine love. Let divine love make receiving safe. Let divine love cleanse the shame. Let divine love remove the old belief that you must remain small to remain good. You do not become more holy by fearing supply. You do not become more spiritual by calling your good impossible. You do not help the world by refusing what is yours by divine right. A supplied life may become a greater blessing when it remains under God. Say, my supply blesses my life and blesses others. Again, my supply blesses my life and blesses others. Say, my good blesses all concerned. Again, my good blesses all concerned. Now let us widen the mind again. No sum is too large for infinite spirit. Again, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. I do not measure God by my present purse. Again, I do not measure God by my present purse. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. Again, the how belongs to infinite intelligence. I release the size of the sum to divine order. Again, I release the size of the sum to divine order. Now softly, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. There is a rest that comes when the mind stops trying to lift the sum. You are not asked to lift $90,000 with your nervous thought. You are asked to place it in divine order. You are not asked to build every bridge before morning. You are asked to speak the word under grace. You are not asked to know every person, channel, action, and hour. You are asked to trust infinite intelligence. Say, I stop trying to lift the sum with fear. Again, I stop trying to lift the sum with fear. Say, I place the sum in infinite spirit. Again, I place the sum in infinite spirit. The mind may still say, but it is large. Answer, God is larger. The mind may say, but I do not see the road. Answer, infinite intelligence sees the road. The mind may say, but I have tried before. Answer, divine order is working now. The mind may say, but I am afraid. Answer, the whole matter is under grace. Again, the whole matter is under grace. Again, the whole matter is under grace. Now let the number become quiet in the presence of God. $90,000 under grace. $90,000 in divine order. $90,000 through perfect channels. $90,000 in perfect ways. $90,000 as a servant of divine supply. $90,000 without fear. $90,000 without strain. $90,000 without guilt. $90,000 without forcing. $90,000 under grace. Now the nervous shock leaves the number. It becomes no more frightening than any other form of good. It becomes a figure placed in the divine plan. It becomes subject to divine law. It becomes something infinite spirit can handle without your sleepless supervision. Say, I do not supervise infinite spirit. Again, I do not supervise infinite spirit. Say, I trust divine order to arrange the way. Again, I trust divine order to arrange the way. How restful this is. You need not stand over divine intelligence with instructions born of fear. You need not say, use this person, this hour, this method, this road. Speak the word and release the method. Infinite spirit is not lacking in invention. Infinite spirit is not lacking in channels. Infinite spirit is not lacking in time. Infinite Spirit is not lacking in resources. No sum is too large for Infinite Spirit. Again, no sum is too large for Infinite Spirit. Now let us speak to the body. The body has perhaps tightened around the number. Let the forehead soften. It does not need to calculate. Let the eyes rest. They do not need to search. Let the jaw release. It does not need to hold fear. Let the shoulders loosen. They do not need to carry the sum. Let the hands open. They do not need to grasp the how. Let the heart become quiet. It does not need to beat against impossibility. Say, my body releases fear of large supply. Again, my body releases fear of large supply. Say, my heart opens to receive under grace. Again, my heart opens to receive under grace. Now breathe gently and let the sum rest in divine order. $90,000 comes under grace. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. Again, the how belongs to infinite intelligence. The channel belongs to divine order. Again, the channel belongs to divine order. The receiving belongs under grace. Again, the receiving belongs under grace. Now the mind is not required to leap. It is invited to open. Expansion under grace is gentle. It does not push the nervous system into excitement. It does not ask the heart to become frantic. It simply removes the ceiling little by little. It says, perhaps God is greater than I thought. Perhaps supply is wider than I have known. Perhaps the channel is not limited to the one I have watched. Perhaps the amount is not too large. Perhaps the how is not mine to carry. Perhaps I may receive under grace. Say, I may receive under grace. Again, I may receive under grace. Say, I may receive larger supply in perfect ways. Again, I may receive larger supply in perfect ways. Say, I may let Infinite Spirit be infinite. Again, I may let Infinite Spirit be infinite. That is the key. Let Infinite Spirit be infinite. Do not confine God to old wages. Do not confine God to one account. Do not confine God to the narrow path of your own planning. Do not confine divine supply to what seems reasonable to fear. Let Infinite Spirit be infinite. Say, I let Infinite Spirit be infinite. Again, I let Infinite Spirit be infinite. Now speak the central affirmation again. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, slower. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Do not ask the phrase to prove itself tonight. Let it work. Let it settle. Let it become familiar. A large sum becomes less frightening when it is spoken under grace often enough. The mind begins to stop recoiling. The heart begins to stop shrinking. The old ceiling begins to lift. The soul begins to say, if this is mine by divine right, it can come. If this is appointed, the channel will open. If this is under grace, it will bless all concerned. Say, if this is mine by divine right, it can come. Again, if this is mine by divine right, it can come. Say, if this is appointed, the channel will open. Again, if this is appointed, the channel will open. Say, if this is under grace, it will bless all concerned. Again, if this is under grace, it will bless all concerned. Now let the mind rest from impossibility. You have given impossibility enough attention. It has spoken loudly, but it is not the voice of God. It has argued, but it is not divine law. It has frightened you, but it has not supplied you. Tonight, impossibility is dismissed. Say, I dismiss the belief in impossibility. Again, I dismiss the belief in impossibility. Say, I receive the truth of divine supply. Again, I receive the truth of divine supply. Say, no sum is too large for Infinite Spirit. Again, no sum is too large for Infinite Spirit. Now let this become the quiet rhythm of the section, something the sleeping mind may carry onward. No sum is too large. No sum is too large. No sum is too large. For Infinite Spirit. For Infinite Spirit. For Infinite Spirit. I do not measure God. I do not measure God. I do not measure God. By my present purse. By my present purse. By my present purse. The how belongs. The how belongs. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. To infinite intelligence. To infinite intelligence. I release the size. I release the size. I release the size. To divine order. To divine order. To divine order. And now the whole word. No sum is too large for Infinite Spirit. I do not measure God by my present purse. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. I release the size of the sum to divine order. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, no sum is too large for Infinite Spirit. I do not measure God by my present purse. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. I release the size of the sum to divine order. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now rest in the expansion. The mind does not have to become perfect tonight. It only has to stop worshipping the limit. It only has to become willing to let divine supply be greater than old expectation. It only has to stop calling a large sum impossible before infinite spirit has spoken. It only has to place the number under grace and let the word go before it. You are not lifting the sum. Infinite spirit is the source. You are not inventing the channel. Infinite intelligence knows the way. You are not forcing the timing. Divine order governs the hour. You are not begging before impossibility. You are speaking under grace. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again softly, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now very gently, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. I do not measure God by my present purse. The how belongs to infinite intelligence. I release the size of the sum to divine order. The number is quiet now. The fear is quieter now. The old ceiling is lifting now. The heart is widening now. The perfect channels are opening now. And $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now we come to the exact word. There is a moment in every spiritual work when the wandering thought must become a definite word, and the definite word must become a quiet decree. It must not be vague. It must not be frightened. It must not be half faith and half fear. It must be simple enough for the tired mind, clear enough for divine law, and peaceful enough to carry into sleep. So tonight the word is this: $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let it come slowly. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, without pressure. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Do not say it as one who is begging. Do not say it as one who is trying to tear open a door with the hands. Do not say it as one who has made money a god. Say it as one who places a definite matter under divine order. Say it as one who knows that God is the source, money is the form, and the channel belongs to infinite intelligence. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now let us take the sentence in its parts, so the mind may rest in it. $90,000 comes to me now. This gives the word direction. It tells the wandering mind that the good is not lost in mist. It is not a vague hope. It is not a far-off dream. It is a definite word placed under God. The amount is named, but it is not worshipped. The amount is spoken, but it is not feared. The amount is called forth, but only under grace. Say, $90,000 comes to me now. Again, $90,000 comes to me now. Now add the protection. Under grace. Say only that. Under grace. Again, under grace. These two words are the white wings of the decree. Under grace means without harm. Under grace means without fear. Under grace means without forcing one soul, one door, one person, one road, or one channel. Under grace means the money comes cleanly, rightly, peacefully, and in divine order. Under grace means that if this sum is mine by divine right, it cannot be withheld, and if some higher form of supply is better, infinite spirit selects the perfect form. Now say, $90,000 comes under grace. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. Again, softer, $90,000 comes under grace. Let the phrase become familiar. Let the number lose its sharp edges. Let the mind hear it again and again until it no longer recoils from it. A sum becomes frightening when it is held in fear. A sum becomes peaceful when it is placed under grace. $90,000 comes under grace. Now add the way. Through perfect channels. Say, through perfect channels. Again, through perfect channels. The channel is not yours to force. The channel is not yours to bind. The channel is not yours to make a god. The channel is selected by infinite spirit. It may be a channel you know. It may be a channel you do not know. It may be a channel that has seemed closed and is opened under grace. It may be a new channel. It may be an idea. It may be work. It may be an opportunity. It may be a repayment. It may be an adjustment. It may be a door so quiet that you would not have noticed it while fear was speaking. But it is the perfect channel. Say, the perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. Again, the perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. Again calmly, the perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. Now add the final blessing. And in perfect ways. Say, in perfect ways. Again, in perfect ways. Perfect ways means the sum does not arrive with confusion attached to it. It does not arrive by robbing peace. It does not arrive by disturbing another's good. It does not arrive by error, fear, or strain. It arrives in a way that can be blessed. It arrives in a way that is useful, clean, orderly, and right. It arrives in a way that supports life and expresses divine order. Now speak the whole sentence again. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, slower. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. This is the word of the night. It is not to be carried like a weight. It is to be repeated like a lullaby of faith. It is not to excite the mind. It is to settle the mind. It is not to make the body tense. It is to release tension from the body. It is not to awaken calculation. It is to put calculation to rest beneath divine intelligence. Say, divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. Again, divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. Again, divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. Let this variation soften the decree. Divine supply brings it. You do not drag it. Divine supply brings it. You do not beg for it. Divine supply brings it. You do not chase it through the night. Divine supply brings it through the right people, the right ideas, the right opportunities, the right adjustments, the right openings, and the right roads. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. There is a great rest in the word brings. It tells the mind that supply is not a stone you must push uphill. It tells the heart that the good may come toward you under divine order. It tells the body that it may lie still and breathe quietly. It tells the soul that infinite spirit knows how to deliver what is appointed. Now say, my word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. Again, my word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. Again, softly, my word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. This is the office of the spoken word. Your word does not merely name fear. Your word does not merely describe what the eye sees. Your word calls forth. Your word goes before you. Your word opens the way. Your word spoken under grace becomes a messenger sent into the invisible to prepare the visible, but it must carry the right message. It must not carry, I am afraid. It must not carry, this is impossible. It must not carry, I am unworthy. It must not carry, there is no way. Tonight, your word carries divine order. Say, my word carries divine order. Again, my word carries divine order. Say, my word carries grace. Again, my word carries grace. Say, my word carries supply. Again, my word carries supply. Now the decree again. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Do not add fear to it. Do not say, but I do not know how. Do not say, but it has never happened before. Do not say, but the channel is closed. Do not say, but I am not worthy. Do not say, but that is too much. Let the word stand. A word under grace must be allowed to stand. Say, I let my word stand under grace. Again, I let my word stand under grace. Now say, I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. Again, I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. And again, I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. This phrase removes the old fear of taking what is not yours. You do not receive by greed. You do not receive by force. You do not receive by taking from another. You receive by divine right, under grace. What is yours by divine right blesses you and blesses all concerned. What is not yours by divine right falls away, and the perfect good takes its place. Under grace, the wrong road closes and the right road opens. Under grace, the false channel disappears and the perfect channel is revealed. Under grace, no one is harmed by your good. Say, my good blesses all concerned. Again, my good blesses all concerned. Say, my receiving is under grace. Again, my receiving is under grace. Now let us repeat the variations in a gentle order, as though placing stones along a quiet path. $90,000 comes under grace. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. The perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. The perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. Again, more slowly, $90,000 comes under grace. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. The perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. Now let the mind grow accustomed to the sound of it. It is no longer strange. It is no longer forbidden. It is no longer too large for speech. It is no longer wrapped in shock. It is no longer a mountain. It is a word under grace. $90,000 comes under grace. Say it again. $90,000 comes under grace. There is no harshness here. There is no vulgarity here. There is no worship of money here. Money is not the source. Money is not the master. Money is not the soul's peace. Money is a form of divine supply, and this sum is placed under divine order for perfect use, through perfect channels, in perfect ways. Say, money is a servant of divine order. Again, money is a servant of divine order. Say, $90,000 is a servant of divine order. Again, $90,000 is a servant of divine order. When money serves divine order, it may pay what is to be paid. It may release what is to be released. It may open what is to be opened. It may support what is to be supported. It may bless the home, the work, the body, the family, the future, the service, the gift, the debt, the account, the opportunity, the road. It may become a visible form of invisible care. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. Again, divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. Now let us make the decree safe for the heart. Some hearts fear receiving. They fear that a large sum will bring trouble. They fear that a large sum will be lost. They fear that a large sum will make others judge them. They fear they will not know how to handle it. They fear that if money comes, it will not stay. Bless that fear and let it go. Say, I receive with wisdom under grace. Again, I receive with wisdom under grace. Say, I handle divine supply with divine guidance. Again, I handle divine supply with divine guidance. Say, the use of $90,000 is under divine order. Again, the use of $90,000 is under divine order. If the sum comes under grace, the wisdom for the sum comes under grace, the order for the sum comes under grace, the peace for the sum comes under grace, the right use for the sum comes under grace. Divine supply does not bring good and abandon you before it. Infinite intelligence guides the receiving, the keeping, the giving, the paying, the saving, the building, and the blessing. Now return to the exact word. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, slower. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let it be very quiet now. A decree need not be loud to be powerful. A seed need not shout beneath the soil. A star need not cry out to shine. A word spoken in faith may be whispered and still carry authority when it is under grace. Say, my quiet word has power. Again, my quiet word has power. Say, my word is my wand. Again, my word is my wand. Now use the wand. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. Again, my word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. Again, my word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. Let the phrase calls forth be understood. You are not pulling from another. You are not taking. You are not pushing. You are calling forth the form of supply, appointed in divine mind. You are calling forth the perfect channel. You are calling forth the right idea. You are calling forth the divine appointment. You are calling forth the adjustment already known to infinite intelligence. You are calling forth the visible expression of an invisible good. Say, my appointed good comes forth now. Again, my appointed good comes forth now. Say, the invisible good becomes visible under grace. Again, the invisible good becomes visible under grace. Now let the night carry the word. The world may be still. The lamps may be low. The body may be heavy. The outer mind may be tired. But the word can go on. The word can work in the silence. The word can move beneath the surface of events. The word can prepare the channels while you sleep. Say, my word works in the silence. Again, my word works in the silence. Say, my word opens the perfect way. Again, my word opens the perfect way. Now the decree. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Do not ask whether you believe it perfectly. Let belief grow by repetition. The mind may not feel ready at first. It may tremble before a large sum. It may feel surprised by its own word. That is well. The word will train the mind. The word will accustom the heart to receiving. The word will teach the inner life a new measure. The word will remove the sharp fear from the number and clothe it in grace. Say, I am becoming accustomed to divine supply. Again, I am becoming accustomed to divine supply. Say, I am becoming ready to receive under grace. Again, I am becoming ready to receive under grace. Now repeat gently. $90,000 comes under grace. $90,000 comes under grace. $90,000 comes under grace. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. The perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. The perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. The perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. Under to real stand from Haimonnistan. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. Now let the central affirmation gather them all. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. This includes the amount. This includes the grace. This includes the channel. This includes the way. This includes the protection. This includes the timing. This includes the receiving. This includes the use. It is enough. Say it again. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now let us remove pressure from the word now. In divine mind, now means the good is established in the spiritual order. It does not mean panic. It does not mean strain. It does not mean that you must remain awake all night watching for signs. It means that the word is accepted now. The law is active now. The channel is under divine order now. The way is prepared now in infinite intelligence. Say, now in divine mind. Again, now in divine mind. Say, now under grace. Again, now under grace. Say, now through perfect channels. Again, now through perfect channels. Now speak. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. The word now belongs to God, not to panic. Divine timing is included in divine now. What is truly yours cannot be late in divine mind. What is appointed cannot be lost. What is under grace cannot be forced into disorder. Now is the certainty of the word, not the nervousness of fear. Say, divine timing is exact. Again, divine timing is exact. Say, no delay can rob me of my appointed good. Again, no delay can rob me of my appointed good. Now the exact word again. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now we let the word become softer, so it may enter sleep. $90,000 comes under grace. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel is open. Again, the perfect channel is open. Divine supply brings it. Again, divine supply brings it. I receive in perfect ways. Again, I receive in perfect ways. Now the full word. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let the phrase enter the breath. You need not breathe in any special manner. Simply let the words accompany the quiet rhythm of rest. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. If the mind wanders, bring it back gently. Do not scold it. A tired mind wanders. Bring it back as one would bring a child back from the road to the warm room. $90,000 comes under grace. If the mind worries, bring it back. The perfect channel is open now. If the mind asks how, bring it back. Infinite intelligence knows the way. If the mind says too much, bring it back. No sum is too large for infinite spirit. If the mind says unworthy, bring it back. I receive by divine right, under grace. Now the word is becoming familiar. It is becoming less like a mountain and more like a prayer, less like a shock and more like a law, less like a demand and more like a placement under God. Say, this word is safe. Again, this word is safe. Say, this decree is under grace. Again, this decree is under grace. Say, this supply blesses all concerned. Again, this supply blesses all concerned. Now let the exact word be spoken with simple authority. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. There is no need to improve the sentence. Fear often tries to add conditions. It says, say it, but also worry. It says, say it, but also plan every road. It says, say it, but also doubt yourself. It says, say it, but also keep checking whether the world agrees. No. Let the word stand pure. A pure word is not tangled. A pure word is not followed by contradiction. A pure word does not beg. A pure word does not apologize. A pure word does not force. A pure word is under grace. Say, I speak a pure word of supply. Again, I speak a pure word of supply. Say, I do not contradict my good. Again, I do not contradict my good. Now return to the variations. $90,000 comes under grace. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. The perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. Again, very slowly. $90,000 comes under grace. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. The perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. Now let us bless the word before sleep. Bless the word itself. Bless the sound of it. Bless the silence that receives it. Bless the mind that repeats it. Bless the heart that is learning to trust it. Bless the body that is learning to rest with it. Bless the channels it opens. Bless the people it may draw. Bless the wisdom it may bring. Bless the use of the money. Bless the timing. Bless the whole matter. Say, I bless this word under grace. Again, I bless this word under grace. Say, I bless the fulfillment of this word. Again, I bless the fulfillment of this word. Say, I bless the perfect channels now opening. Again, I bless the perfect channels now opening. When a word is blessed, it is no longer a strain. It becomes a holy seed. It is planted in peace. It is watered by faith. It is warmed by gratitude. It is protected by non-resistance. It is fulfilled by divine law. Do not dig it up. Do not disturb it. Do not demand that it show roots before morning. Do not trouble the soil with doubt. Let it grow in the silence. Say, my word is planted under grace. Again, my word is planted under grace. Say, divine law brings forth the harvest. Again, divine law brings forth the harvest. Now the central word again, softer. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let the repetitions become like quiet bells in the distance, not loud, not sharp, just enough to call the mind back to faith. $90,000 comes under grace, the perfect channel opens, divine supply brings it, my word calls it forth. I receive by divine right. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. Divine supply brings it. My word calls it forth. I receive by divine right. Now let the phrase move through the different areas of life. For the home, $90,000 comes under grace, and my home is blessed. For obligations, $90,000 comes under grace, and every obligation is brought into divine order. For debts, $90,000 comes under grace, and every debt is adjusted in perfect ways. For work, $90,000 comes under grace, and my work is prospered through perfect channels. For family, $90,000 comes under grace, and all in my care are blessed. For peace, $90,000 comes under grace, and my heart rests in divine supply. For the future, $90,000 comes under grace, and the way before me is opened by infinite spirit. Now the full decree, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. You may carry only this sentence into sleep. You do not need the whole teaching. You do not need all the explanations. You do not need to remember every phrase. This sentence is enough. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. If sleep comes before you finish the sentence, let sleep come. The word has been spoken. The seed has been planted. The law is faithful. The source is inexhaustible. The channels are in divine order. Say, the word has been spoken. Again, the word has been spoken. Say, the way is open under grace. Again, the way is open under grace. Say, the perfect channel is open now. Again, the perfect channel is open now. Now one more gentle cycle. $90,000 comes under grace. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. The perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. And the full word, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, softer. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, softer still. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now rest. The exact word is known. The exact word is safe. The exact word is under grace. The exact word has gone before you. The perfect channels are open. The perfect amount comes through the perfect channel. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways, and you receive by divine right, under grace, in perfect peace. Now you may command the amount and release the way. This is one of the most difficult lessons for the anxious mind, and one of the most restful lessons for the awakened soul. The mind wishes to name the amount and then seize the road. It wishes to say, $90,000 must come. And then at once it begins to choose the person, the hour, the door, the letter, the agreement, the sale, the payment, the inheritance, the employment, the customer, the opportunity, the visible path. It speaks one word of faith, and then builds a prison for that word by deciding how it must be fulfilled. Tonight, we do not do that. Tonight, the amount is named, and the way is released. Say softly, I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. Again, I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. And again, more quietly, I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. Let this be a gentle separation in the mind. The amount may be spoken with clearness. The way must be left to infinite spirit. Your word may be definite. Your heart must remain free. Your decree may say, $90,000 comes to me now under grace. But your faith must not say, it must come through this one door, this one person, this one plan, this one hour, or this one narrow channel. The moment you make one channel your source, fear returns. The moment you make one person your supply, anxiety returns. The moment you make one road your only hope, pressure returns. The moment you place the way in your own trembling hands, sleep disappears. So tonight, say, I do not force the channel. Again, I do not force the channel. Again, I do not force the channel. There is a wonderful freedom in these words. I do not force the channel. I do not force the employer. I do not force the customer. I do not force the sale. I do not force the letter. I do not force the agreement. I do not force the relative. I do not force the friend. I do not force the borrower. I do not force the buyer. I do not force the inheritance. I do not force one opportunity to carry the whole weight of God. God is not limited to one channel. Say, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Again, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. The channel may change, but the source never fails. The channel may appear late, but divine timing is exact. The channel may seem closed, but infinite spirit knows another door. The channel may disappoint you, but divine supply is not disappointed. The channel may be unknown tonight, but infinite intelligence knows it already. Say, infinite spirit selects the perfect channel. Again, infinite spirit selects the perfect channel. Again, as though laying down a burden, infinite spirit selects the perfect channel. Now bring the sum again, but do not bring the strain. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Notice that the phrase says perfect channels. It does not say one frightened channel. It does not say one desperate channel. It does not say the channel that your fear has chosen. It says perfect channels. It leaves infinite spirit free. It leaves divine order free. It leaves the people of the world free. It leaves your mind free. It leaves the whole matter under grace. If there is a person you have been watching, release that person. If there is a payment you have been waiting upon with fear, release that payment. If there is a sale you have been trying to force, release that sale. If there is an employment you have made into your only source, release that employment. If there is an inheritance you have placed your peace upon, release that inheritance. If there is a customer, a client, an invitation, an agreement, a promise, a debt owed to you, or a door you have looked at too long, release it all to divine order. Say, I release this channel to divine order. Again, I release this channel to divine order. Say, I release every person to divine love. Again, I release every person to divine love. Say, I release every road to infinite spirit. Again, I release every road to infinite spirit. This does not mean you refuse your good. It means you stop choking the channel with fear. It means you stop standing before one door all night, beating upon it in imagination, while infinite spirit may have opened a quieter door behind you. It means you stop telling God how to be God. It means you name the appointed supply, and then allow infinite intelligence to do what the human mind cannot do. Say, the how is not my burden tonight. Again, the how is not my burden tonight. And again, softer, the how is not my burden tonight. Let that sentence sink into the body. The how is not my burden tonight. The body does not have to know how $90,000 comes. The eyes do not have to search. The hands do not have to grasp. The forehead does not have to tighten. The heart does not have to beat against a wall of calculation. The nervous mind does not have to sit up all night drawing maps. The how is not your burden tonight. The word is yours. The how is God's. The decree is yours. The channel is God's. The faith is yours. The timing is God's. The receiving is yours. The perfect way is God's. Say, I speak the word, and infinite spirit opens the way. Again, I speak the word, and infinite spirit opens the way. Now return. I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. Again, I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. There is spiritual discipline in this. Many can name a desire, but they cannot release the way. They name the amount and then follow it with fear. They say, $90,000 comes under grace, and then say, It must come through this business. They say, the perfect channel opens, and then say, but if this one person does not answer, I am lost. They say, God is my supply, and then make an employer, a relative, a buyer, a banker, or a client into the source. This divides the word. Tonight, the word is whole. Say, my word is whole under grace. Again, my word is whole under grace. Say, I do not divide my word with fear. Again, I do not divide my word with fear. Now let the mind see how small one channel is beside infinite spirit. One channel may be useful, bless it. One channel may be appointed, bless it. One channel may open, bless it. But do not kneel before it. Do not say, you alone must save me. Do not say, you alone must bring the money. Do not say, you alone are my peace. No channel can bear the weight of being God to you. A channel is a channel. The source is God. Say, a channel is a channel. Again, a channel is a channel. Say, the source is God. Again, the source is God. The channel may be a job, but God is the source. The channel may be a sale, but God is the source. The channel may be a payment, but God is the source. The channel may be a gift, but God is the source. The channel may be a settlement, but God is the source. The channel may be a new idea, but God is the source. The channel may be unexpected, but God is still the source. Now say, Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. Again, Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. If the channel is to be a person, the right person is moved in the right way. If the channel is to be work, the right work is opened in the right way. If the channel is to be a sale, the right buyer appears in the right way. If the channel is to be repayment, the right adjustment is made in the right way. If the channel is to be a new idea, the right idea is revealed at the right hour. If the channel is one you have not named, infinite intelligence names it for you. You do not need to name the channel. You name the good under grace. Say, I name the good under grace. Again, I name the good under grace. Say, Infinite Spirit names the channel. Again, Infinite Spirit names the channel. Now speak the exact word again. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let the phrase perfect channels become larger than any single road you have been watching. Perfect channels may be many. Perfect channels may be hidden. Perfect channels may be simple. Perfect channels may be dignified. Perfect channels may be quiet. Perfect channels may be surprising. Perfect channels may be already moving before you see them. Perfect channels are not chosen by panic. They are selected by Infinite Spirit. Say, perfect channels are selected by Infinite Spirit. Again, perfect channels are selected by Infinite Spirit. Now let us speak to the desire to force. It often comes from fear. A person forces because he thinks time is running out. A person forces because he thinks this door is the only door. A person forces because he thinks another person must be made to do what he wants. A person forces because he has forgotten the inexhaustible source. But force is not faith. Force is fear in armor. Tonight, remove the armor. Say, I do not force the channel. Again, I do not force the channel. Say, I do not force the hour. Again, I do not force the hour. Say, I do not force the person. Again, I do not force the person. Say, I do not force the road. Again, I do not force the road. Now place the whole matter in divine order. I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. Again, I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. The way may be better than the way you have imagined. The way may be simpler. The way may be cleaner. The way may be more peaceful. The way may require less humiliation, less struggle, less explaining, less chasing, less pleading, less waiting at the wrong door. The way may preserve your dignity. The way may bless someone else also. The way may answer more than the money need. The way may bring order, courage, peace, guidance, and new life. Infinite Spirit never lacks a way. Say, Infinite Spirit never lacks a way. Again, Infinite Spirit never lacks a way. If the human mind had to arrange everything, then a large sum would indeed be exhausting. But the human mind is not the source of the way. The human mind receives guidance. Infinite intelligence knows the path. The human mind speaks the word. Divine law fulfills the word. The human mind takes right action when revealed. Divine order prepares the opportunity. The how is not my burden tonight. Again, the how is not my burden tonight. Say, the how belongs to infinite intelligence. Again, the how belongs to infinite intelligence. Let these sentences become rest for the mind. When the thought begins to plan from fear, return to them. When the mind says, maybe I must make this person understand, return to them. When the mind says, maybe I must force this answer, return to them. When the mind says, maybe I must watch the door all night, return to them. The how is not my burden tonight. Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. Again, the how is not my burden tonight. Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. Now let us place $90,000 in the right position. Not above God, not above peace, not above your sleep, not above your faith, not above divine love, not above the freedom of another soul, not above integrity, not above wisdom. The sum is under grace. The sum is under divine order. The sum is under the authority of God. Say, $90,000 is under divine order. Again, $90,000 is under divine order. Say, $90,000 is under grace. Again, $90,000 is under grace. Say, $90,000 comes through perfect channels. Again, $90,000 comes through perfect channels. Now, if a certain channel arises in the mind, do not fight it and do not cling to it. Simply bless it and release it. If you think of your work, bless your work and release it. If you think of a sale, bless the sale and release it. If you think of a person, bless that person and release that person. If you think of an old promise, bless the matter and release it. If you think of a debt owed, bless the adjustment and release it. If you think of a door that has seemed closed, bless the door and release it. Say, I bless and release every channel. Again, I bless and release every channel. Say, I bless and release every person. Again, I bless and release every person. Say, I bless and release every expectation. Again, I bless and release every expectation. This is not losing your good. It is freeing your good. A bird cannot fly if you clutch it in your hands. A word cannot go before you if you keep dragging it back into fear. A channel cannot become perfect if you keep binding it with anxiety. Release is not abandonment. Release is trust. Say, release is trust. Again, release is trust. Say, I release because I trust divine order. Again, I release because I trust divine order. Now return to the full decree. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now a shorter word. $90,000 comes under grace. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. Again, the perfect channel opens. The how is not my burden tonight. Again, the how is not my burden tonight. Let the nervous need to know become still. Many people think that if they know the how, they will be safe. But often the mind invents the how out of fear and then suffers when life does not follow its little plan. Safety does not come from knowing every step. Safety comes from knowing the source. Safety comes from knowing that infinite spirit is the supply, divine order is the arranger, infinite intelligence is the guide, and grace is the protection. Say, I am safe in divine order. Again, I am safe in divine order. Say, I am safe releasing the way. Again, I am safe releasing the way. Say, I am safe allowing perfect channels. Again, I am safe allowing perfect channels. Now let us look at the different channels one by one and release them all. If the mind says, it must come through my present work, answer, I bless my work, and I release the way. If the mind says, it must come through a new position, answer, I bless the right position, and I release the way. If the mind says, it must come through a sale, answer, I bless the perfect sale, and I release the way. If the mind says, it must come through a customer, answer, I bless the perfect customer, and I release the way. If the mind says, it must come through an inheritance, answer, I bless all concerned, and I release the way. If the mind says, it must come through a person who owes me, answer, I bless that person, I bless the adjustment, and I release the way. If the mind says, it must come through one opportunity, answer, I bless every divine opportunity, and I release the way. Again, I bless every divine opportunity, and I release the way. You see, the word does not become weaker when the channel is released. It becomes stronger. It is no longer confined by fear. It is no longer locked in a small room of human planning. It is set free under divine order. Say, my word is free under grace. Again, my word is free under grace. Say, my supply is free under grace. Again, my supply is free under grace. Now speak. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. Again, my word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. And then release. Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. Again, Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. This is the balance. Call forth and release. Decree and let go. Speak and rest. Command under grace and allow divine order to arrange. Say, I call forth and I release. Again, I call forth and I release. Say, I decree and I let go. Again, I decree and I let go. Say, I speak and I rest. Again, I speak and I rest. Now let the body understand. The command is not a tightening, it is a placing. You place the sum under grace. You place the way in divine order. You place the channel in infinite intelligence. You place the use in divine wisdom. You place the timing in divine law. Then the body may rest because the matter is no longer being held by muscles, nerves, and frightened thoughts. Say, I place this matter in infinite spirit. Again, I place this matter in infinite spirit. Say, I remove it from my anxious hands. Again, I remove it from my anxious hands. Say, I let divine order hold it tonight. Again, I let divine order hold it tonight. Now the night can become quiet again. A person cannot sleep deeply while trying to control every possible road to money. But one can sleep when the road belongs to God. One can sleep when the channel belongs to infinite spirit. One can sleep when the amount is under grace. One can sleep when the word has been spoken and the burden has been cast. Say, the road belongs to God. Again, the road belongs to God. Say, the channel belongs to infinite spirit. Again, the channel belongs to infinite spirit. Say, the burden is not mine tonight. Again, the burden is not mine tonight. Now the full word. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let us speak gently about the habit of watching. The mind may watch one channel as a cat watches a door. It waits, it listens, it becomes still, but not with peace. It becomes still with fear. Every little sign is examined. Every delay is interpreted as denial. Every silence becomes a prophecy. Every change in the outer world disturbs the inner world. This is not faith. Faith does not stare at one door in terror. Faith blesses the door and turns to God. Say, I do not watch one door in fear. Again, I do not watch one door in fear. Say, I bless every door and trust the appointed door. Again, I bless every door and trust the appointed door. The appointed door opens under grace. It may be this door. It may be another. It may be a door behind the door. It may be a door you did not know existed. It may be a door within your own mind, an idea, a realization, a correction, a release. Infinite Spirit knows. Say, the appointed door opens under grace. Again, the appointed door opens under grace. Say, Infinite Spirit knows the appointed door. Again, Infinite Spirit knows the appointed door. Now release the way again. I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. Again, I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. The amount is $90,000. The way is God's. The amount is named. The channel is selected by infinite spirit. The amount is placed under grace. The method is arranged by infinite intelligence. The amount is spoken in faith. The fulfillment is governed by divine law. Say, the fulfillment is governed by divine law. Again, the fulfillment is governed by divine law. Now let us remove one more form of pressure. The thought that you must make yourself ready by strain. You do not make yourself ready by staying awake in fear. You do not make yourself ready by rehearsing the worst. You do not make yourself ready by forcing one answer. You make yourself ready by receiving the word, blessing the channels, releasing the way, listening for right guidance, and resting in divine order. Say, I am ready without strain. Again, I am ready without strain. Say, I am prepared without pressure. Again, I am prepared without pressure. Say, I receive without forcing. Again, I receive without forcing. Now hear the central affirmation again. $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. It does not say, through the channel I fear losing. It does not say, through the person I am trying to control. It does not say, through the door I keep striking with my anxious thought. It says, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Say, through perfect channels. Again, through perfect channels. Say, in perfect ways. Again, in perfect ways. There is such peace in perfect ways. Perfect ways do not require you to sacrifice your peace. Perfect ways do not require you to harm another. Perfect ways do not require you to bend truth. Perfect ways do not require you to beg at the wrong door. Perfect ways do not require you to make money your master. Perfect ways preserve the divine plan. Say, the perfect way preserves my peace. Again, the perfect way preserves my peace. Say, the perfect way blesses all concerned. Again, the perfect way blesses all concerned. Say, the perfect way is open now. Again, the perfect way is open now. Now let us practice a quiet release. Think of the amount, $90,000. Place it under grace, under grace. Think of the channel, perfect channels. Release the how. The how is not my burden tonight. Think of infinite spirit. Infinite spirit selects the perfect channel. Think of sleep. I rest while divine order works. Now say it as one flowing word. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. And the how is not my burden tonight. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. And the how is not my burden tonight. Now shorter, $90,000 comes under grace and I release the way. Again, $90,000 comes under grace and I release the way. Again, $90,000 comes under grace and I release the way. The release must be real. It is not a sentence spoken while the fingers remain clenched around the old channel. Let the fingers of the mind open. Let the heart unclench. Let the shoulders drop. Let the breath go. Let the road widen. Let the way become God's again. Say, I open my hands and release the way. Again, I open my hands and release the way. Say, I open my mind and receive divine guidance. Again, I open my mind and receive divine guidance. Say, I open my heart and trust the perfect channel. Again, I open my heart and trust the perfect channel. Now remember, releasing the way does not mean refusing action. When right action is shown, you will take it. When the right word is given, you will speak it. When the right door opens, you will enter. When the right opportunity appears, you will recognize it. But action born of divine guidance is different from action born of fear. One is peaceful and powerful. The other is frantic and exhausting. Say, I take right action in divine timing. Again, I take right action in divine timing. Say, I do not act from fear. Again, I do not act from fear. Say, I am guided to the perfect action. Again, I am guided to the perfect action. Tonight, however, the action is rest. Tonight, the action is the word. Tonight, the action is release. Tonight, the action is not to force, not to chase, not to decide the channel, not to accuse the delay, not to command another soul. Tonight, the action is to place $90,000 under grace and let infinite spirit select the way. Say, tonight, my action is faith. Again, tonight, my action is faith. Say, tonight, my action is release. Again, tonight, my action is release. Say, tonight, my action is rest. Again, tonight, my action is rest. Now the decree again, softly. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now let the sentence become a rhythm. I command the amount under grace. I release the way. I do not force the channel. I release the way. Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. I release the way. The how is not my burden tonight. I release the way. Again, I command the amount under grace. I release the way. I do not force the channel. I release the way. Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. I release the way. The how is not my burden tonight. I release the way. Now, if your mind is still holding a particular channel, speak to it tenderly. Say within yourself, I bless you. I release you. You are not my source. You may be used by divine order, or you may be set aside for a better way. I do not bind you. I do not fear you. I do not make you my God. I bless you and release you. Say, I bless this channel and release it. Again, I bless this channel and release it. Say, I bless the perfect channel and receive it. Again, I bless the perfect channel and receive it. This is non-resistance. You are no longer fighting the closed door. You are no longer fighting the delay. You are no longer fighting the person. You are no longer fighting the circumstance. You are allowing divine order to reveal the appointed way. Say, non-resistance opens the perfect door. Again, non-resistance opens the perfect door. Say, I resist no good. Again, I resist no good. Say, I force no channel. Again, I force no channel. The words are simple enough for sleep now. I resist no good. I force no channel. $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect way is open. Again, I resist no good. I force no channel. $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect way is open. Let the silence take these words. They do not need to be held tightly. They do not need to be repeated with effort. Let them move gently through the mind like a small stream moving through a quiet garden. I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. I do not force the channel. Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. The how is not my burden tonight. Now the exact word, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. The more you release the how, the more peaceful the affirmation becomes. When the mind clutches the how, the number feels heavy. When the how is released, the number becomes light. When one channel is forced, the word becomes anxious. When perfect channels are allowed, the word becomes free. Say, my word is free. Again, my word is free. Say, my supply is free. Again, my supply is free. Say, the perfect channel is free to open. Again, the perfect channel is free to open. Now let the old need for control fall away. Control was never peace. Control was never faith. Control was never supply. Control was the mind trying to do the work of infinite spirit. You may retire from that labor tonight. You may retire from being the little manager of every invisible road. You may retire from watching the channel. You may retire from carrying the how. Say, I retire from carrying the how. Again, I retire from carrying the how. Say, I retire from forcing the channel. Again, I retire from forcing the channel. Say, I rest in infinite intelligence. Again, I rest in infinite intelligence. Now the body may feel the release. The sum is not on your shoulders. The channel is not in your hands. The timing is not in your nervous system. The way is not in your strained thoughts. The whole matter is under grace. Say, the whole matter is under grace. Again, the whole matter is under grace. Say, the whole matter is in divine order. Again, the whole matter is in divine order. And now, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let the final thought of this movement be simple. You may command the amount. You may name $90,000 under grace. You may speak it with authority. You may call forth your appointed supply. But you do not need to know the road tonight. You do not need to choose the channel tonight. You do not need to solve the means tonight. You do not need to force anything tonight. The how is not your burden tonight. The how is not your burden tonight. The how is not your burden tonight. Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. I command the amount under grace, and I release the way. And now the word rests. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. The amount is named. The way is released. The channel is blessed. The source is God. The mind is quiet. The heart is free. The body may sleep. And infinite spirit opens the perfect way. And now, if these words have followed you to this quiet hour, let them grow softer within you. You have not come to the end of a lesson, but to the edge of rest. The word has been spoken. The burden has been placed. The amount has been named under grace. The channel has been released. The source has been remembered. And now there is nothing left for fear to do tonight. If these words found you at the right hour, return whenever your faith needs supply. Return when the number seems large. Return when the bill seems loud. Return when the debt tries to speak more strongly than divine order. Return when one channel appears closed, and the mind forgets that infinite spirit has ways you cannot see. Return when you need to remember that you are not a beggar before life, but one who speaks the word under grace. Write the words, if you feel led. $90,000 comes under grace. Let them not be merely a mark beneath a passing message. Let them be a quiet witness that you have placed this matter in divine order. Let them be your night declaration, your spoken seed, your agreement with supply. And if this channel of words has helped you remember your power under grace, remain near this teaching, return to it, and let the word be renewed whenever your heart desires peace. Now, softly, let the whole night be gathered into one sentence. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, more gently, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. And now let it become simpler. $90,000 comes under grace. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. There is no need to awaken the mind again. There is no need to explain everything again. There is no need to review the roads, the people, the possible channels, the dates, the delays, the old questions, the old fears. The word has been given. The matter is in the hands of infinite spirit. Divine law knows how to fulfill the word. Let this be your night prayer. not a prayer of strain, not a prayer of panic, not a prayer of begging, a prayer of authority under grace, a prayer of release, a prayer of quiet certainty, a prayer that remembers the source. Say within yourself, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Again, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Say, the perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. Again, the perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. Say, infinite spirit has ways I cannot see. Again, infinite spirit has ways I cannot see. Now rest. The mind does not need to lean forward. The hands do not need to grasp. The body does not need to carry the number. The heart does not need to beat against the wall of how. The sum is under grace. The channel is under grace. The timing is under grace. The use is under grace. The whole matter is under grace. What is yours by divine right cannot be withheld. Say it softly. What is mine by divine right cannot be withheld. Again, what is mine by divine right cannot be withheld. And if $90,000 is your appointed good, then it comes cleanly. It comes peacefully. It comes through the perfect channel. It comes in a way that blesses all concerned. It comes without harm. It comes without confusion. It comes without robbing another. It comes as a servant of divine order. Say, my good comes cleanly and peacefully. Again, my good comes cleanly and peacefully. Say, my receiving is under grace. Again, my receiving is under grace. Now, as the voice becomes quieter and the night grows deeper, let every anxious question become unnecessary. How will it come? Infinite intelligence knows. When will it come? Divine timing is exact. Through whom will it come? Infinite spirit selects the perfect channel. Am I worthy to receive? You are worthy to receive your appointed good under grace. Is the sum too large? No sum is too large for infinite spirit. Must I force the way? No. The how is not your burden tonight. Say, the how is not my burden tonight. Again, the how is not my burden tonight. Say, I command the amount under grace and I release the way. Again, I command the amount under grace and I release the way. Now let the word go before you like a lamp along a quiet road. You do not have to walk the whole road tonight. You do not have to know where it bends. You do not have to see the door before it opens. You do not have to hear the answer before divine order speaks. You only have to rest in the word. My faithful word has gone forth. Again, my faithful word has gone forth. The order is placed under grace. Again, the order is placed under grace. I do not dig up my seed with doubt. Again, I do not dig up my seed with doubt. Let the seed sleep in the holy darkness. Let the word sleep in the soil of faith. Let the hidden work be hidden. Let divine law move without your interference. The seed does not need your nervous fingers. The word does not need your anxious supervision. The channel does not need your fear. Infinite Spirit knows how to bring forth what is appointed. Say, divine law knows how to fulfill the word. Again, divine law knows how to fulfill the word. Now let all channels be blessed and released. Bless the work. Bless the payment. Bless the buyer. Bless the client. Bless the opportunity. Bless the letter, bless the agreement, bless the old door, bless the new door, bless the known channel, bless the unknown channel, bless the channel you expected, bless the channel you have not yet imagined, and release them all to divine order. Say, I bless and release every channel. Again, I bless and release every channel. Say, Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. Again, Infinite Spirit selects the perfect channel. Now sleep without fastening your peace to one road. Sleep without making one person your source. Sleep without making one door your supply. Sleep without making one answer your salvation. God is the source. Divine supply is inexhaustible. The channel may change, but the source never fails. Say, I do not make one channel my source. Again, I do not make one channel my source. Say, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Again, God is my unfailing and inexhaustible supply. Now let the sum be quiet. Let $90,000 no longer stand before you as a mountain. Let it rest under grace as a form of supply, a servant of good, a means through which divine order may bless your life in perfect ways. Do not worship the sum. Do not fear the sum. Do not chase the sum. Place it where it belongs, under grace. Say, $90,000 is under grace. Again, $90,000 is under grace. Say, $90,000 is a form of divine supply. Again, $90,000 is a form of divine supply. Say, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, softly, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now let the body sink into rest. Let the forehead become smooth. Let the eyes be still. Let the mouth be quiet, having spoken the right word. Let the shoulders release the burden. Let the hands open, as though they no longer clutch the how. Let the chest soften. Let the heart rest in divine love. Let the whole body receive the truth that you do not need to carry this number through the night. Say, I do not carry this number through the night. Again, I do not carry this number through the night. Say, I place it upon infinite spirit. Again, I place it upon infinite spirit. Say, I go free. Again, I go free. Again, softer, I go free. This is the freedom of faith, not the freedom of having forced the answer, not the freedom of having controlled every channel, not the freedom of having made the visible world promise you comfort before sleep. It is the freedom of having remembered the law. The word is spoken, the burden is cast, the way is released, and infinite spirit opens the perfect channels. Sleep now, and let infinite spirit open the perfect channels. Sleep now, and let divine order arrange the way. Sleep now, and let the word go before you. Sleep now, and let the seed be hidden in faith. Sleep now, and let the number rest under grace. Sleep now, and let your appointed good come in perfect ways. Say, I sleep in divine order. Again, I sleep in divine order. Say, I sleep in divine supply. Again, I sleep in divine supply. Say, I sleep under grace. Again, I sleep under grace. If you wake in the night and the old thought returns, do not follow it. Do not sit up in the mind and begin the old counting. Do not rehearse the debt. Do not ask where the money is. Do not take back the burden. Simply return to the word. $90,000 comes under grace. That is enough. If fear speaks again, $90,000 comes under grace. If the mind asks how, infinite intelligence knows the way. If the channel seems closed, the perfect channel is open now. If shame returns, I receive without shame. If the number feels large, no sum is too large for infinite spirit. Then sleep again. Say, I return to the word and sleep. Again, I return to the word and sleep. Say, I do not take back the burden. Again, I do not take back the burden. Now let this be the prayer that carries you gently downward. $90,000 comes under grace. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. The perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. Again, slower, $90,000 comes under grace. Divine supply brings $90,000 in perfect ways. The perfect channel for $90,000 is open now. My word calls forth $90,000 under divine order. I receive $90,000 by divine right, under grace. And now the full word. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, like a whisper in the soul, $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Let it be enough. Let the sentence carry the entire matter. Let it carry the amount. Let it carry the grace. Let it carry the channel. Let it carry the timing. Let it carry the use. Let it carry the peace. Let it carry the answer into divine law. You have spoken the word. You have placed the sum. You have released the way. You have remembered the source. You have prepared the inner treasury. You have refused shame. You have refused to make one channel your source. You have stopped begging. You have commanded under grace. Now rest. Say, I rest because the word is spoken. Again, I rest because the word is spoken. Say, I rest because the burden is cast. Again, I rest because the burden is cast. Say, I rest because the way is open. Again, I rest because the way is open. And if any part of you still fears that nothing is happening, let it hear this. Divine order is not silent because it is absent. The seed is not dead because it is hidden. The word is not powerless because it is quiet. The channel is not closed because you do not yet see it. Infinite spirit is not idle because your eyes are resting. Say, divine order is working now. Again, divine order is working now. Say, the word is working in the silence. Again, the word is working in the silence. Say, the perfect channels are opening now. Again, the perfect channels are opening now. Now, more softly still. Let the words become less like instruction and more like rest. $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. God is my supply. I sleep in peace. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. God is my supply. I sleep in peace. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. God is my supply. I sleep in peace. Let this be your night prayer. Not merely for tonight, but for every night when the mind tries to make money too heavy. Return to it when the number feels too large. Return to it when a bill seems louder than faith. Return to it when one answer delays. Return to it when the old habit of begging tries to enter again. Return to it until the word feels natural, until the heart no longer flinches before supply, until the mind remembers that infinite spirit has ways you cannot see. If these words found you at the right hour, return whenever your faith needs supply. Return and place the matter under grace. Return and release the channel. Return and bless the source. Return and say again, $90,000 comes to me now, under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Now the night receives you. The outer world grows distant. The old calculations fade. The figures no longer crowd the mind. The channels are no longer your burden. The how is no longer your work. The sum is no longer a master. Money is a servant of divine order. God is the source. The spoken word has gone forth. The law is faithful. Say, the law is faithful. Again, the law is faithful. Say, God is faithful. Again, God is faithful. Say, my appointed good is faithful to me under grace. Again, my appointed good is faithful to me under grace. Now let the final words be very simple. I do not beg. I speak the word. I do not force. I release the way. I do not fear. I rest under grace. I do not chase. I receive in perfect ways. Again, I do not beg. I speak the word. I do not force. I release the way. I do not fear. I rest under grace. I do not chase. I receive in perfect ways. And now, $90,000 comes under grace. Again, $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. Again, the perfect channel opens. Divine supply brings it. Again, divine supply brings it. I receive peacefully. Again, I receive peacefully. I receive wisely. Again, I receive wisely. I receive under grace. Again, I receive under grace. Sleep now, and let infinite spirit open the perfect channels. Sleep now, and let divine supply move in ways the anxious mind cannot see. Sleep now, and let the word do its quiet work. Sleep now, and let every burden be carried by infinite spirit. Sleep now, and let $90,000 come under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. The amount is under grace, the channel is under grace, the timing is under grace, the use is under grace, the receiving is under grace, your heart is under grace, your sleep is under grace, your future is under grace. And now, in the hush of this hour, let the word fade softly into rest. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, softer still. $90,000 comes to me now under grace, through perfect channels and in perfect ways. Again, softer still. $90,000 comes under grace. The perfect channel opens. God is my supply. I sleep in peace. And so it is, under grace, in perfect ways.